Chapter 1333. Little girl, go ahead. Please search. To see the most complete. It's the fastest. Wu Man and the others didn't dare to approach her and could only guide her from the air. Sima Yue nodded. She carried Xiao He and walked in the direction they had mentioned. Every time she moved forward, the black fog would retreat a little, and the area it covered would decrease by a little. The originally chaotic city was now quiet. The aura that made them fear was weakening. Was the crisis over? They wanted to go to the forbidden area to watch. After Zhang Hao found out, he sent a patrol team to guard outside and forbade anyone from approaching the forbidden area. On Black Luan, Di Wu and Mu Si looked over anxiously. Miss, please be safe. If anything happens to you, how am I going to explain to Master? Di Wu looked like he was about to cry. No, she'll be fine. Mu Si said with certainty. She said she'll come back to find us, so she'll definitely come back. Although he spoke with certainty, his tightly clenched and trembling hands still revealed his worry and anxiety. Even Siyu couldn't remain calm as she said, "We've only known each other for 2 days, why am I already worried about her? This is different from before." Even he both felt that Siyu treated Sima Yue differently. If Sima Yue was a man, he would wonder if young Miss fell in love with her at first sight. But she was a girl through and through. Could it be that young Miss's sexual orientation had changed? I saw that she was very confident when she left. She should be fine. He persuaded his young mistress not to worry. Hebo, you said that Yue said that she has a better understanding of force. Does that mean that she is also a seeker spirit master? Siyu recalled how Sima Yue looked like before she left. Yes. She's also a formation master like me. TSK, a spirit master with multiple professions. Siyu sighed, a person like her must have been doted on by the heavens. She wouldn't have died so early. The fact that she used 2 affirmations in a row meant that she wasn't certain in her heart. It's a pity that I can't go closer. I wonder how young Miss is now. Diwu said worriedly. Get close? Siyu's eyes lit up. It's not that dangerous now, we can go closer to take a look. It was better than being anxious here. Black Luan, go over. Black Luan flapped its wings and flew towards the forbidden grounds. When it approached the forbidden grounds, it was stopped by the patrol team. Up ahead is a forbidden area. No one is allowed to approach. My little sister is inside, I have to go in and take a look. Siyu said with a straight face. Your younger sister? The guard obviously didn't believe him. Yeah, she just came over. Siyu said, she's wearing a long black dress and looks really pretty. You're not talking about the girl with the puppy, are you? Said the guard. A girl with a puppy? Siyu blinked. She could tell that he had a faint admiration for the person he mentioned. She didn't care if he was talking about Sima Yue and replied, Isn't it her? What's wrong with her? Was he injured? Let me take a look at my younger sister. She's my family's treasure. If anything happens to her, I'll definitely ask Auntie Man to punish you. But the manager said that no one is allowed to get close. The patrol team still insisted. Am I like those people? My sister is inside, but is someone else's sister inside? Is she there? Siyu raised her voice, appearing very anxious and worried. No buts, just let me go over. If anything happens to my little sister, I'll just go with her. Siyu started crying as she spoke, her tears streaming down her face. Don't be anxious. Your little sister is very powerful. Nothing will happen to her. Do you still need to tell me how scary the things in this forbidden area are? My little sister is alone inside, how can I not be anxious? Siyu cried even harder as she spoke. But we can't break the rules. The patrol team looked at each other. They were in a difficult position. If it was an ordinary person, they would just chase them away. Although they didn't know Siyu's identity, they knew that she was from a large family. If they really caused a ruckus here, they wouldn't be able to answer to both sides. Luckily, the commotion here attracted the attention of those in the forbidden area. Wu Man saw the people causing a ruckus here and frowned, saying, Let them come over. When the patrol team heard this, they immediately moved to the side, saying, Please. Hailwan brought them to Wu Man's side. Siyu called out, Aunt Man, little sister? Why don't I know? When did your father have a daughter? Wu Man asked. Siyu flew to Wu Man's side and held her hand, saying, Hee Aunt Man, you know. Is it another friend you made outside? Wu Man turned her gaze to Sima Yue and praised her. You made a good friend this time. She's different from your bad friends in the past. Wu Man's voice wasn't loud. She didn't really want to question Siyu. The current situation didn't allow her to say much. Siyu followed her gaze and saw Sima Yue. When she saw Sima Yue alone in the forbidden area, she cried out. Man, why is she alone down there? It's so dangerous. Sima Yue heard her voice and turned back to take a look. Seeing that she was worried about her, she smiled at her and continued to walk forward. Based on the current situation, she's not in danger. Wu Man continued, the spirit beast in her embrace seems to be able to restrain this thing. Didn't you see that the black fog retreated a little when she walked forward? Siyu and Mu Si, who was on He Luan's back, saw that it was indeed so. I didn't expect this girl to be so powerful. She said she had a way and she really did. Siyu smiled and said. Di Wu wasn't surprised when he saw this. He had heard a lot about young Mississippi. In his heart, she was omnipotent. But believing was believing, he still had to see it with his own eyes before he could relax. Seems like you two are very close? Meng Sha would sometimes go to the north of the city to look for Wu Man. He knew her beloved niece. He was curious about Sima Yue's identity. If Siyu knew her, then he should know her identity. Not really, we've known each other for 2 days. Siyu laughed when she thought about how they knew each other. 2 days and she's your younger sister? Although Wu Man was grateful to Sima Yue, if she was someone who tried to curry favor with those in power, then her impression of her would drop. You're wrong, Ant-Man. She didn't want to be my younger sister, I wanted to be her elder sister. Siyu explained, this girl knew that I'm C family's young miss and didn't agree at first. I had to threaten and bribe her before she agreed. Speaking of this, she was rather proud. Wu Man wanted to say that she was fooling around again, but before she could finish, she was interrupted by a surprised voice. That thing is going back to the pond. To be continued. This book came from Chapter 1334. Everyone shifted their attention to Sima Yue. She had already walked past the streets and arrived at the square. However, after reaching this place, the black fog did not retreat. It was as if it was putting up a final resistance. Sima Yue could vaguely see the pool. All the black fog had retreated back into the pool. She guessed that the black fog must have come out from the pool. Little girl, chase it back into the pond. Zhang Hao ordered. Sima Yue pursed her lips. This person was really putting on airs to order people around? That tone of command really made people feel uncomfortable. Little Black seemed to be unhappy as well. It jumped out of her arms and sat there motionlessly. When it sat down, the people behind it were dumbfounded. They were about to rush back, so why did it stop? Little girl? This is? Sima Yue lowered her head and looked at Little Black. She knew that this fellow was unhappy. Little Black, why aren't you moving? Let's continue. Woof woof woof. Little Black barked at her and wagged its tail. It sat on the ground and refused to leave. Little girl, you're about to succeed. Don't drop the ball at the crucial moment. Zhang Hao said again. Sima Yue was even more unhappy. The more unhappy she was, the more unhappy Blackie was. It stood up and barked at Zhang Hao, then lay down facing them. He's still lying down? Are you throwing a tantrum? If it weren't for the fact that the timing wasn't right, everyone would have laughed out loud when they saw Little Black's expression. Little girl, time waits for no man. You'd better let. Before Zhang Hao could finish his words, Little Hay rolled its eyes at him and closed its eyes to sleep. Everyone was dumbfounded. Now they could see that Blackie was dissatisfied with Zhang Hao. Zhang Hao also saw it. His face immediately darkened. It was almost as dark as Little Hay's fur. However, he could not argue with a beast. He could only ask Sima Yue, who was standing at the side, Little girl, what's going on? I don't know either, Sima Yue said. Although I have a contract with it, I can't feel its thoughts. Maybe he's tired from forcing this thing here from the outside. Since she said that, Zhang Hao didn't want to force her anymore. Even the group of them were helpless against it, yet the other party forced it back. Could it be that they were slow? And he didn't even allow her to be tired for a while? However, everyone could tell that Little Black wasn't tired. It only cried out twice, how could it be tired? We're giving you a chance to deal with this matter because we think highly of you. Don't be pretentious. A man said discontentedly. When Wu Man and Meng Sha heard this, they knew that something was wrong and could only glare at that person anxiously. Before they could say anything, they saw Sima Yue laugh coldly and say, since that's the case, then you can call it. Who knows, maybe once you call it, it will return to the pond. After saying that, she squatted down and carried Little Black back. Once she left, the result would be disastrous. The black fog spread over again, scaring the people who came down, and they quickly flew up into the air. Zhang Hu, if you don't speak, no one will think you're mute. Meng Sha scolded. The person called Zhang Hu wanted to refute, but when he saw everyone staring at him, he could only swallow the words in his heart. Little girl, don't be angry. Zhang Hu was just casually saying it. Zhang Hao said. Casually saying it? I don't think so. Sima Yue looked at Zhang Hao. Although everyone is locked up here, but I think if I don't do anything and wait until everyone in the city is dead before I act, I won't lose a single strand of hair. Therefore, I can help or not help with this matter. It's not up to anyone to casually shout and criticize me. Just now this person also said that it's just a matter of calling out twice. I think he can do it too. There's no need for us here, I'll take my leave first. After saying that, she carried Little Black and was about to leave. At this moment, everyone looked at the Zhang family with disdain. Zhang Hao had obviously made the little girl unhappy just now, and now he was scolding her. If it were them, they would definitely leave. Little girl, don't be angry. Meng Sha cupped his hands towards Sima Yue. I'm not angry. It's just that my family's Little Black's strength is weak. I'm afraid he can't help you. Sima Yue sneered. Those who could appear in the forbidden area, other than the usual guards, were people with high status in Ghost City. When had they ever been treated like this? But Sima Yue was like this, they couldn't force her with a knife. Not only could they not, they had to treat her well because all of their lives were in her hands. Isn't that so? My little sister said that Little Black doesn't have any spiritual energy and gets tired easily. To force such a scary thing to this extent, Little Black must be very tired. Siyu said, Little sister, you must be very tired. Come over to sister. Many people from the northern part of the city recognized Siyu. Seeing that she called Sima Yue little sister, they were puzzled. When did the Si family have another daughter? The Si family had noticed Siyu before, but she was by Wu Man's side, so no one came to find her. Now that they heard that Sima Yue was her little sister, the Si family couldn't react in time. Father, when did little sister have a little sister? Why didn't we know? Don't tell me you brought her back from outside? Does mother know? Siyu's third brother smiled and asked. Siyu's father, Si Kong Lian's face darkened. He glared at his son and said, Your little sister is messing around and you're messing around too? That little girl should be someone that little sister met when she was playing outside. But it seems like little sister is quite protective of her. Si family's eldest brother said. Why didn't he Bo send any news back? Who is this person? Si family's second brother frowned. It better not be someone who used her identity as little sister to climb up the social ladder. Bo didn't send any news back. Either little sister didn't let him, or they just met not long ago. Si family's eldest brother said, No matter what, little sister treats her differently. Sima Yue didn't expect Siyu to be so protective of her at this time. Seeing that she was speaking up for her, she nodded at her and carried Little Black over. So this is Miss Si. Miss Si, your father is here too. If anything happens, they won't be able to escape. Meng Sha pointed at Si family's direction. Sima Yue looked over and saw a few people who looked similar to Siyu. Why are father and the rest here? Little sister, father is here. Don't be afraid. Come back and rest if you're tired. Siyu looked like she had found someone to back her up. Actually, these words were meant for the Si family to hear so that they wouldn't be exposed. Chapter 1335. As expected, with Siyu's hint, the Si family didn't reveal that Sima Yue wasn't part of the Si family. Sima Yue carried Xiaohei back to Siyu's side. Siyu grabbed her and checked her carefully. She only let her go after confirming that she wasn't injured. In the eyes of others, this scene really looked like an elder sister showing concern for her younger sister. Little sister, are you all right? Siyu patted her shoulder and winked at her. I'm fine. Sima Yue understood what she was trying to say. She was trying to say that she had helped her out. She had better not expose her. Although she didn't know what method Siyu used to make the Si family remain silent, she remembered how Siyu said that the whole family doted on her. She thought that they wouldn't embarrass her in public. How could he be fine? Siyu's heart ached as she said, It was so dangerous just now. If it wasn't for you, who knows how many people would have died. Step by step you forced this thing back here. How much effort did you expend? He must be exhausted. Sima Yue pursed her lips. This Siyu really didn't know how to lie. She just blurted it out casually. However, her words were like a slap to the Zhang family's face, making them blush. So it's the young miss of the Si family. I heard that the Si family only has one small realm. How come there are two now? Someone from the Zhang family was unhappy and jumped out to blame himself. My father's goddaughter won't do. Siyu said, or should I say, my father needs your Zhang family's approval to have a goddaughter? You what? Siyu was unhappy when Zhang Hao ordered Sima Yue to work. She didn't expect two idiots to jump out one after another. Now she was very unhappy with the Zhang family. Not only her but everyone else as well. What kind of situation was this? Why did the Zhang clan still come out to play so many tricks? If they really offended Sima Yue, who would solve the problem at hand? Fortunately, although some of the black fog had returned, it did not cover the entire square. This also allowed the others to heave a sigh of relief. If this really caused that thing to counterattack, then the Zhang family would have committed a great sin. The Zhang family's faces were ugly. Sima Yue and Little He had gone on strike because of them. Now that everyone was criticizing them, they felt embarrassed. Little sister, this is the Anti-Man that I told you about. You just came home and haven't met Anti-Man before? Siyu introduced. Sima Yue blinked and looked at Siyu. Was this really alright? What if they were exposed? Siyu returned her gaze. Don't worry, it won't happen. As expected, before she could say anything, Wu Man spoke first. I did hear that Big Brother C adopted a daughter some time ago, but I didn't expect to meet her so soon. I really have to thank you for today's matter. If it wasn't for you and your spirit beast, I don't know what would have happened. Since you're Big Brother C's daughter, you can call me Ant-Man like Siyu. Wu Man said this because she was really grateful to this little girl. Although she felt that what she did later was a bit too much, it was true that the Zhang family was annoying. Man, Ant-Man, you're flattering me. Sima Yue didn't expect that the person in charge of the northern part of the city would help Siyu cover up her lie. It seemed like everyone doted on her. Thinking about it, it was only when she grew up in such an environment that she would have such a character. If she grew up in an environment of mutual deception, she wouldn't have such a pair of pure and sly eyes. Since you're tired, take a rest. Anyway, I have you guarding here, so it won't dare to move forward. Wu Man glanced at Zhang Hao and Meng Sha intentionally. Meng Sha saw her gaze and pouted. He swallowed the words that he was about to say. Although he was always at odds with Wu Man in terms of relationship, it was still much better than with Zhang Hao. Zhang Hao was different. Wu Man looked at him as a warning, warning him not to let the Zhang clan do anything annoying. Now Sima Yu only said that she was tired. If something else happened, she might just leave directly. In her words, even if everyone in the city were to die, she would not lose a single strand of hair even if she were to attack again. So now, if the Zhang family still didn't know what to do, then don't blame the others for being rude. At this moment, the C family flew over. No one stopped them. Father. Siyu saw the coldness in her father's eyes. She pulled a long face and smiled as she held his hand. You're being naughty again. Si Kong glared at her and scolded. She didn't know if he was talking about her acknowledging Sima Yue as her sister or the fact that she slapped the Zhang family in front of everyone. Father, I'm just worried about my little sister. Siyu acted coquettishly towards Si Kong, but there was also a hint of pleading in her voice. Sima Yue saw that Siyu was so close to her father. She thought of her father who passed away in her previous life and her gaze dimmed. Speaking of which, she had been in this body for decades. No matter if it was her father in name or her biological father, she didn't have any impression of them. Although she had her grandfather and brothers by her side all these years, her father and mother were also indispensable. Siyu saw that Sima Yue was a little sad. She remembered that she was sent away by her father when she was young and came here to look for her father. She must have missed her father too. Little sister, don't worry. Father won't blame you. Siyu said, Father, it was my idea to sneak out. Don't blame little sister. After speaking, she even shook Si Kong's arm. Shock flashed across Sima Yue's face, but there was still a trace of it in her eyes. How did this turn into them sneaking out to play? Hee hee, little sister. Si family's third brother smiled at Sima Yue. Come and tell third brother, was this trip fun? Sima Yue saw that everyone was looking at her, especially the Zhang family. She had said that she was from the Si family. If they knew that she was lying, they would definitely link Zhang Shua's death to her. She didn't want to deal with these matters yet, so she could only reply with a fake smile. It was fun. Even if it was fun, you have to come back early. Si family's eldest brother said, Little, your sister is a playful person. You can't let her do whatever she wants when I'm not around. If little sister wants to play, second brother will bring you there next time. It's too dangerous to go out by yourself. Do you understand? Si family's second brother said seriously, as if he was really scolding his two younger sisters. I understand. Sima Yue pursed her lips. Were the three Si brothers introducing themselves? Were they afraid that she would be exposed in front of everyone? Even Si Kong glanced at her and said, How are you? Are you hurt anywhere? No, I'm just a little tired. Sima Yue followed his words. If you're tired, then rest for a while. There are other people here anyway. It's not like it has to be you. Si Kong said lightly, making fun of the Zhang family. Chapter 1336. Sima Yue did not expect Si Kong to say the same thing. She was stunned for a moment before she broke into a big smile. Thank you, foster father. It was a bit embarrassing to call a stranger foster father. Si Kong, this isn't a good idea, right? Someone was unhappy. The situation is still so critical. If we don't handle it well, no one will be able to feel at ease. That's right, Si Kong. This concerns the safety of the entire city's citizens. Isn't it inappropriate for you to do this? That's right. Sima Yue glanced at them. The people who were talking were with the Zhang family just now. Even if they weren't from the Zhang family, they were from the south of the city. Are they dissatisfied with me and are now targeting the Si family? She didn't expect that she would implicate Si Kongliang just because she was angry. Just as she was about to speak, she heard Si Kongliang say leisurely, "What does it have to do with us? Since you speak so righteously, then go ahead. The people of the city will thank you." Sima Yue raised her eyebrows and looked at Si Kong in a new light. This foster father was different from the others. The way he spoke was really satisfying. Si Kong, what do you mean? Those people were choked by Si Kong's words and almost couldn't breathe. It's literally what it means. Si Kong said, since you're so concerned about the safety of the people, shouldn't you go and solve the problem immediately? Since that's the case, everyone will naturally thank you. If we can make that thing go back, why would we waste our time here and joke about the lives of the people in the city? After saying that, the man glanced at Sima Yue. What he meant was obvious. Others might not have a solution, but Sima Yue was delaying it. She did not care about the lives of the people in the city. Oh, so you also know that you don't have the ability. Si Kong glanced at that person indifferently. Since you don't have the ability, then don't blindly compete. What's the point of just talking without doing anything? Sima Yue laughed unkindly. His words were too sharp and funny. He wasn't afraid of offending these people. But no matter if it was because he couldn't stand these people or because he was protecting her because of Siyu, she accepted his kindness. Si Kong, does your Si family want to watch the citizens die? What are your intentions? I've long heard that the Si family is the most powerful family in the north of the city and doesn't care about the people in the city. It seems like it's true. Sima Yue pulled a long face and her aura turned cold. She looked at the person who spoke and said sarcastically, I think you are the ones who don't care about the lives of the people in the city. What nonsense are you talking about? How am I spouting nonsense? Sima Yue sneered, I came from the outside and arrived in Ghost City not long ago. I just acknowledged Godfather and the rest. To be honest, I don't have a good impression of this Ghost City. The lives of these people are not important to me. When she said this, many people's expressions changed. If she really thought this way, then how could they ask her to save everyone? How many cultivators would make a move for an unrelated person? Sima Yue looked around and continued, don't be angry and think that I'm unpardonably evil. Think about it from another perspective. If it were you guys, would you definitely stand up for others? Many people were silent. If it were them, would they really stand up without hesitation? If I didn't make a move just now, this ghost city would have really become a ghost city, right? Sima Yue didn't care about what they thought. The reason why I made a move was not for anything else but to protect Godfather and the rest. At the same time, I also saved the lives of the people in Ghost City. If it weren't for Godfather and the rest, I might not have made a move. So, the people in Ghost City are basking in Godfather and the rest's glory. Since that's the case, what right do you have to criticize them? If you criticize Godfather and the rest and make me angry, I won't care about this anymore. Tell me, aren't you the one who doesn't care about the lives of the people? You, what about me? Sima Yue said, am I wrong? So many people's lives are in your hands. How can you be so selfish? Zhang Hu scolded. I'm selfish? Sima Yue looked at him and suddenly laughed. I think you guys are mistaken about something. What is it? What do your lives have to do with me? Don't tell me that if I save you, you'll be willing to be my slave and acknowledge me as your master? Or rather, you've already prepared countless treasures waiting for me to save you, so you'll give them all to me? Sima Yue laughed coldly, saving you guys is my right, not my duty. Zhang Hu and the rest's faces turned even uglier, but they couldn't find any words to refute. What do you want? Zhang Hao asked. Manager Zhang, right? Sima Yue looked at Zhang Hao. I don't want anything. You're making it sound like I'm taking advantage of the situation. Then what do you want to do? I didn't do anything. Sima Yue cried out innocently, I said just now, I'm just tired and want to rest. But you guys seem to want me to do nothing so that you can push the blame onto Godfather and the rest. Sigh, Godfather and the rest have been accused by you for no reason. How can I, as their goddaughter, bear to do that? I think I should do nothing, at least let Godfather and the rest be accused. This time the C family laughed. She said that she wouldn't do anything and let the C family be accused, but everyone could tell that she was being sarcastic. She was the only one here who could control that thing, so how could she really not do anything? But this little girl said that she was a selfish person, so she was protecting them, right? They were actually protected by a little girl. This was the first time in history. They never cared about what other people said, but it felt good to have someone protecting them. Everyone else wanted to use their family's power, but she was different. No wonder their precious little sister liked her so much. This girl was indeed worthy of being liked. Then what do you want? I don't want anything. Sima Yue said, I've already said that I don't have any feelings for those people, and I don't want their gratitude. I just want to save Godfather and the rest. You guys said that Godfather and the rest don't care about the people in the city, so of course I want to help Godfather and the rest be accused. After speaking, she shrugged nonchalantly as if saying, bite me if you're not happy with it. Si Kong, what do you say? Zhang Hao looked at Si Kong coldly. Big brother Si. Before Si Kong could speak, Wu Man shook her head lightly at him, obviously knowing what he wanted to say. Si Kong glanced at Wu Man. All right, for her sake, he should restrain himself. To be continued. This book came from Chapter 1337. Sima Yue also looked at Si Kong and wanted to see what he would say. Si Kong got Wu Man's hint and swallowed back his words. He changed to a more tactful way of saying it. Zhang Hao, don't you think you're looking for trouble? He glanced at the people who were talking just now and said, my child didn't say that she didn't want to do it in the beginning. She just said that she wanted to rest for a while. My child has a bad temper. I usually have to coax her, but you guys are still giving her attitude? Tell me, aren't you guys deliberately trying to prevent her from doing it? We didn't. Those people seem to have realized the severity of the consequences of Sima Yue's anger, and their imposing manner was reduced. Everyone can see whether or not there is. I don't need to say anything. Si Kong said. It's true that what they said just now was wrong. Young lady, don't be angry. Zhang Hao said. Sima Yue pursed her lips. He had never expected that he would be the first person to make her feel uncomfortable. She did not realize her mistake and remained silent in response to his words. All right, child, it's not just those people. Wu Man said, although you said that just now, we all know that you are actually thinking about the citizens in the city. Isn't it? The people from the C family didn't come before, but you came as soon as something happened. Aren't you trying to protect everyone? Luo Qi chimed in. Yeah, we all saw it. What you said just now was just out of anger. The others also said. Sima Yue pursed her lips. These people really knew how to flatter her. Sikong, what's the situation now? Zhang Hao didn't have the time to coax a child. Zhang Hao, I've said it countless times. My child is tired. He was tired. Since he was tired, of course he had to rest. Only after a good rest will you have the strength to deal with such a scary thing. Si Kong said. When will you be able to rest? That's hard to say. Si Kong said, you know how powerful this thing is. It takes a lot of energy to chase it back, right, child? Yes. However, I feel that others might not believe what Godfather said. Sima Yue said, didn't they say that it was very simple? Then let them try. Let them howl a little or let their spirit beasts howl a little, it might really work. In any case, in their eyes this is a very simple matter. That's right. Siyu clapped her hands, they made it sound so easy, let's just let them experience it. If their howling didn't work, they could try Little Black's method. Perhaps it would work. Right, little sister? Sima Yue tried to hold back her laughter. Did this guy just make her bark like a dog? However, she didn't look like she was trying to trick him. On the contrary, she looked very serious, as if what she was doing was really useful. She nodded in agreement and said, that's right. I thought they could try it while I was resting. Might be useful. How can this be? No. Those people immediately objected. Wasn't it insulting to make them bark like a dog? I think it's possible. Meng Sha said, anyway, this little girl is tired now, let's let others try. Who knows, maybe they can do it. This way they won't have to look at the C family's face. Sima Yue looked at Meng Sha. This guy looked feminine and seemed to be a ruthless person. His words clearly showed that he was dissatisfied with Sima Yue and the C clan, but if you thought about it carefully, he was actually speaking up for them. Because his words were mainly to let those people try, he didn't really say that anyone could do it and then they wouldn't have to look at her face. Everyone here understood that other than Little Black who was in Sima Yuyue's arms, no one else here could do it. I think it's possible too. Luo Qi said, the situation now is special. If others can force it back we can be at ease earlier. Wu Man, what do you think? I have no objections. Wu Man said. Sima Yue looked at these people who were spouting nonsense with a straight face in surprise. She thought to herself that these people were good at cheating people. However, she did not think that these people were venting their anger for her. Wu Man had a good relationship with the Si family. She might be, but Luo Qi and Meng Sha might not be. Maybe they were just displeased with these people and took the chance to cheat them. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that this was the case. It was because these people offended her that this happened. Otherwise, they might have already chased that thing back. Since you all agreed, then you can try. Meng Sha said, let's see if this matter is that easy. If it is, then this little girl doesn't need to stay in Ghost City anymore. If it isn't, then we can't wrong her. That's right, that's right. Uncle Meng is right. We have to be fair. Siyu said. Zhang Hao wanted to refute, but the other three agreed. They also understood that they had offended Sima Yue today. If they did not appease her, then today's matter would not be able to continue. However, these people were either from the Zhang family or from the South City who had a good relationship with the Zhang family. If they really went, wouldn't it be a slap to his face? This Si family was really despicable. When this matter was over, he would definitely teach them a lesson. He glanced at Si Kong and the rest, not hiding the hatred in his eyes. Sima Yu understood what he was thinking the moment he saw it. She was not afraid of offending the Zhang family. Anyway, after she found her father, she would definitely leave. Also, she killed Zhang Shua, so this grudge was formed. However, the Si family was different. Even if she left, the Si family would still be here. Although she heard that Wu Man and Zhang Hao did not have a good relationship and did not interact much with the North and South City, this Zhang Hao was still the South City's manager. If they fell out, then it would be troublesome. She wanted to say something, but Si Kong spoke up with the same tone as before. I also think this method is feasible. When my child is resting, we can take a good look at old Zhang and your family's abilities. They all said that this is easy, but it's not good to just talk and not do it. Isn't that so? Si family's third brother also agreed. I heard that the Zhang family always said that they are much more powerful than our Si family. Today is a good opportunity for us to broaden our horizons. If it's true, then we will admit defeat today. We will wait and see. Si family's eldest brother said. That's right, that's right. When I was playing in the city, I heard the Zhang family say that they are the biggest family in Ghost City. Who can compare to them? As long as they are here, the other families will have to stand aside. Manager Zhang, since your Zhang family said so, we have to see if it's true. We are all familiar with each other. If it's true, then we will definitely believe that you are number one. Look, isn't that thing about to get up? You better hurry up and shout, otherwise it will get up. Chapter 1338. Her voice was filled with nervousness. The others were so frightened that they also felt that the black fog seemed to have spread a little more than before. Is an element of 8 is an element of 8 is an element of reading is an element of book. O greater than over equal to Sima Yue looked at the Si family in amusement. It turned out that Siyu's personality wasn't just because she lived in such a happy family, it was probably because of genetics. Can't you see that this whole family is eager to stir up trouble? By saying this at this time, it was clear that he didn't care whether he would offend the Zhang clan or not. However, what she didn't know was that the Si family and the Zhang family were similar in strength. They were the top families in the north and south of Ghost City, so there was no need to be afraid of the Zhang family. Although Zhang Hao was the helmsman of the Zhang family, the relationship between the Si family and Wu Man wasn't just for show. That thing is about to retaliate. Why aren't you guys rushing over to try? Meng Sha pulled a long face and said. No. How could we do such a thing? Zhang Hu said. That's right. It's impossible for us to do that. The others also objected. It was impossible for them to do such a thing. Don't even think about staying in Ghost City in the future. Is that so? Sima Yu shrugged her shoulders and said, didn't you guys just say righteously how to think for the citizens of the city? You haven't even tried, how do you know it won't work? I think you guys don't want to, right? Little girl, don't push your luck. Pfft. Sima Yue burst into laughter. Let me ask you, how am I progressing? After spending so much energy, I didn't get anything in return. Instead, I was accused of all kinds of crimes. It seems like I can't be a good person. You, Since you locals don't care about the people, I don't think I need to do anything, Sima Yue said. Little girl, didn't you say you were tired? You should be fine after resting for so long, right? Zhang Hao asked. Oh, this is not something that can be healed in a short period of time. Clearly, everyone should be doing their part, but it has become my problem. Everyone else is just watching the show. I feel unbalanced. Once I feel unbalanced, I feel tired. Sigh, he probably didn't rest well. Sima Yu shook her head and sighed. If it wasn't for the occasion, Siyu would have laughed out loud without a care for her image. However, she held Sikong's hand and gave her a thumbs up. What do you want? Zhang Hao was infuriated. This junior had refuted his face time and time again. His heart was already filled with killing intent. How could Sima Yue not feel it? She wanted to kill her over such a small matter. Furthermore, she was the only one who could suppress that thing. What a good manager. Nothing much. I've already said that this isn't about me alone. I'm tired. If they don't want me to be tired, then let them try. At the very least, they have to show that everyone is working hard. Otherwise, I won't be able to get rid of my mental exhaustion. Little sister, since you're so tired, let's not bother about it. Let's go to the north of the city. After all, this thing will first kill the people in the south of the city. Once everyone in the south of the city is dead, you should have rested enough. At that time, you will have a better chance of winning. The people from other places won't suffer any losses either. Siyu acted as if she felt sorry for Sima Yue. All right. Then let's go back. Siyu pulled Sima Yue. Father, open the space tunnel. Let's go back and rest. Si Kong did as he said. He formed a seal with one hand and was really going to open the space tunnel. The black fog seemed to have heard that Sima Yue was going to leave and felt that it was time to retaliate. It started to surge again. You guys go and try. Zhang Hao said unwillingly. After he finished speaking, his face was so black that it could drip water. After he said that, Si Kong stopped what he was doing and waited for him to continue. The people from the Zhang family were completely stunned. Did he really want them to try? How could that be? Why are you still standing there? Get down. Zhang Hao saw that they were still standing there and kicked Zhang Hu down. Zhang Hu immediately came to a place a few meters away from the black fog. Although Zhang Hao was angry, he still knew his limits and didn't kick them into the black fog. Zhang Hu saw that Zhang Hao was angry and didn't dare to say anything. He had already come down. If he went back, would he still be able to survive? Actually, even if he didn't go up today, he wouldn't be able to survive. At this moment, there were many citizens standing in the air outside the forbidden area. They couldn't enter, but they could still see from afar. The patrol team couldn't block all of them, could they? At most, they couldn't get close. As for whether they could see it or not, it was none of their business. Those people had been watching for a while. At first, when they heard Sima Yue say that she didn't want to do it, they blamed her in their hearts. However, they slowly understood that it was the Zhang family's fault. Usually, the people in the city were disgusted with the Zhang family. However, they were a big family. Who dared to provoke them? However, everyone had heard what Siyu said. Indeed, the Zhang family had said that they were the most powerful. Since the Zhang family was so powerful, they would watch carefully. Elder Zhang Hu, our lives are in your hands. Someone shouted from the outside. Zhang Hu and the rest then noticed that there were many people gathered around to watch the show. They had to do it today even if they didn't want to. Otherwise, those people would really say that the Zhang family didn't care about them anymore. No matter how powerful the Zhang family was, if they offended everyone in the city, they wouldn't be able to survive. Zhang Hu. Zhang Hao gritted his teeth and shouted. Of course, the ones who were gritting their teeth were the Si family and Sima Yue. Zhang Hu knew that he couldn't escape today. He condensed spiritual power in his hands and wanted to attack that thing. However, before he could release his spiritual power, someone poured a bucket of cold water on him. If you dare to attack it, I guarantee that you won't live for another second. Sima Yue said faintly. This thing was afraid of Little Black, so it didn't come out. However, if it was attacked, it wouldn't continue to be so obedient. Then what do you think we should do? Zhang Hu immediately regretted asking. Didn't you just say that Little Black only howled twice? Then you can howl twice. Remember, howling like my Little Black is useful. Sima Yue caressed Little Black. Impossible. How could Zhang Hu let himself learn to bark like a dog? He continued to condense spiritual power and attacked the black fog. The black fog was originally suppressed by Little Black and was already very uncomfortable. Now that it was being attacked, it was angry. The black fog rushed over in an instant. Zhang Hu couldn't escape in time and was surrounded. Very quickly the black fog retreated. Zhang Hu's figure was nowhere to be seen. Only a pile of bones was left. Sima Yue looked at the pile of bones and thought that it was quite similar to the first time she saw Little Black. Chapter 1339. Little Hay knew what Sima Yue was thinking. It looked at the white bones on the ground in disdain and whimpered. It seemed to be unhappy with her thinking. What the hell is this? How could he be compared to him? Yu was really something. The first time Sima Yue saw Little Black, the scene was even scarier, so she did not feel anything. However, it was different for the others. Many of them were stunned. So powerful. Zhang, who was a paragon-level powerhouse, but he had turned into a skeleton in such a short time. What the hell is this? No matter what it is, as long as we can see it, even a little bit of it will take our lives. That's right. I didn't expect this thing to be so powerful. Fortunately, we didn't go down. The Zhang family members were also frightened. Zhang, whose strength was not high, but it was not low either. However, he had turned into a pile of bones in a short period of time. This was not an easy thing to do in the past. It's all your fault. It's all your fault for threatening to go down there. If you have a way to save everyone, why don't you save them? You must *CK brother Huzi to death. What intentions does the C family have? When a woman saw Zhang Hu's bones, she burst into tears. When she saw Sima Yue, she wanted to rush forward and kill her. However, when she saw the C family behind her, she did not dare to do so. Sima Yue was shocked by the way she addressed him. Brother Huzi? How could someone use such a country bumpkin name? However, from this, it seemed that this person's relationship with Zhang Hu was pretty good. Siyu pointed at the woman and wanted to scold her, but Sima Yue grabbed her arm and stopped her. Siyu knew that Sima Yue was a good talker, so she didn't say anything and waited for her to speak. Granny, what you're saying is wrong. As expected, Sima Yue poked Shirlisha's sore spot as soon as she opened her mouth. Her sorrowful face became even more furious. What old granny? Are you blind? Shirlisha shouted. This Zhang Hu is already an elder of the Zhang clan. He's definitely not young. He's definitely older than my grandfather. Since you called him Brother Huzi, your age shouldn't be too far apart. Otherwise, why don't you call him Uncle Huzi? Sima Yue explained slowly. Granny, I respect you for your age, so I thought that you're a reasonable person. Just now, before Zhang Hu attacked, I warned him not to use spiritual power. But he didn't listen. Can you blame me for this? Sima Yue interrupted him innocently. If you didn't force him to go down, how could he? Shirley Sha looked at Sima Yue as if she wanted to tear her apart. Granny, you're wrong again. Sima Yue said, I didn't ask him to go down. Wasn't he kicked down by Steward Zhang? From the beginning to the end, I said that I was tired and wanted to rest. She was right, but anyone could tell that Sima Yue made them go down on purpose. Besides Granny, this Zhang Hu thought that he was strong and didn't care about the reminders of small fries like us. How can you blame this on me? If he didn't use his spiritual energy, wouldn't he still be alive? So, Granny, this is his own choice. You can't blame others. Sima Yue said. Isn't that so? My little sister reminded him. So many people here saw it. You still want to deny it? Siyu said. If you want to blame my little sister, my C clan isn't to be trifled with. Sima Yue turned her head and smiled gratefully at Siyu. This girl kept calling her little sister. She was getting used to it. Shirley Sha understood the C clan's position and didn't dare to shout and kill in front of everyone. But she already hated Siyu and was prepared to find a chance to kill her. It would be strange if Sima Yue didn't feel such an obvious murderous intent. It was better for her to get rid of this ticking time bomb as soon as possible. Since this granny cares so much for your brother Huzi, why don't you go down and collect his bones? His body has been exposed for too long. Sima Yue kindly reminded her. I don't need you to tell me. Shirley Sha snorted. She hesitated for a while but still flew down. She thought about it. When Zhang Hu went down, the black fog didn't react. It only attacked when Zhang Hu used his spiritual energy to attack. So as long as she didn't attack, the black fog shouldn't attack her. Unfortunately, everything was not as she thought. Or rather, if Sima Yue wasn't there, everything would be as she thought. Unfortunately, she wanted to kill Yue and Yue didn't want her to live either. Just as she landed and bent down to pick up Zhang Hu's bones, Sima Yue lightly poked Little Black's head. Little Black shrunk his neck unhappily and let out a low whimper. Everyone knew Shirley Sha and Zhang Hu's relationship. So when she went to collect the body, no one was surprised. They thought the same as Shirley Sha. As long as she didn't use her spiritual energy, there wouldn't be a problem. However, what made them dumbfounded was that the moment she went to pick up the bones, which was when Little Black was whimpering softly, the black fog once again surged back and swept 10 miles sand in. The result was obvious. Surely Sha didn't collect Zhang Hu's bones. Instead, there was a pile of bones on the ground. Looks like this thing is very unhappy that Zhang Hu used his spiritual energy to hit it. It didn't even let go of the person who went to collect his body. Siyu giggled and clapped. Others didn't notice Sima Yoyue's actions. She was right beside Yuyue and naturally noticed it. Wu Man on the other side was the same. But to the Zhang family, 1 or 2 deaths didn't affect her much. The Zhang family didn't expect to lose 2 monarch-rank beginner stage people. Their faces were black. It was all Sima Yoyue's fault. If it wasn't for her, how could Zhang Hu and Little Black die? How could they lose 2 experts? But no matter how much they hated her, they couldn't touch her before the matter was settled. Have you rested enough? Zhang Hao didn't even use the word little girl. It was obvious that he was furious. Not yet. Sima Yuyue didn't give him any face and rejected him directly. Didn't you say that you would rest well after they went down to try? Yeah, that's what I said. Sima Yuyue nodded. But didn't we just try one person? There were so many people who spoke just now. If we don't try, how will we know if they can do it? When she said that, the faces of those who scolded her changed. Chapter 1340. Sima Yuyue also looked at Sikong to see what he had to say. After getting Wu Man's hint, Sikong swallowed his previous words and changed to a more euphemistic way of saying it. Zhang Hao, don't you think you're looking for trouble? He glanced at the people who had spoken just now. My child didn't say that he would stop at the beginning. He only said that he would rest for a while, but you guys just stood there and chattered. My child has a bad temper and I usually have to coax her. Why are you guys giving her that attitude? Tell me, are you guys trying to stop her from doing it? We're not. Those people seemed to have realized how serious the consequences of Sima Yoyue's anger were, and they became less aggressive. Whether or not there's no need for me to say anything, everyone is watching, Sikong said. It's true that they spoke wrongly just now. Little girl, don't be angry, Zhang Hao said. Sima Yuyue curled her lips. He had said that others spoke wrongly, but he did not expect that he would be the one who made her feel uncomfortable first. Unable to recognize her own mistake, she remained silent in response to his words. All right, child, it's not just those people who are concerned about this. Wu Man said, although you said that just now, we all know that you're actually thinking about the people in the city. Isn't that right? The people from the Xi family didn't come before, but you came as soon as something happened. If it's not to protect everyone, then what is it? Luo Qi also echoed. Yes, we all saw it. What you said just now was just something you said out of anger, the others also said. The corner of Sima Yoyue's mouth twitched. These people really knew how to flatter themselves. Sikong, what do you think of the situation now? Zhang Hao did not have the time to coax a child. Zhang Hao, I've said it countless times. My child is tired. Tired? Since she's tired, of course she needs to rest. Only after resting well will she have the strength to deal with such a scary thing, Sikong said. Then when will she be able to rest well? That's hard to say, Sikong said. You also know that this thing is so powerful. It will take a lot of energy to drive it back, right, child? Yes. But I think that even if Godfather said so, others might not necessarily believe it, Sima Yuyue said. Didn't they just say that it was very easy? Then let them give it a try. Let them howl a few times or let their spirit beasts howl a few times. Who knows, it might really work. Anyway, in their eyes it's just a very simple matter. That's right. Siyu clapped her hands. They said it was so easy, let them experience it. If their howling doesn't work, then try Little Black's barking. Who knows, it might work. Isn't that right, little sister? Sima Yuyue held back her laughter. Didn't this guy just make others bark like a dog? But she didn't look like she was tricking him. On the contrary, she looked very serious, as if it would really work. She nodded in agreement and said, That's right. I think while I'm resting we can let them give it a try. Who knows, it might work. How can you do that? No. Those people immediately objected. Asking them to bark like a dog? Wasn't that insulting? I think it's possible, Meng Sha said. Anyway, this little girl is tired now, so let's let the others try. Who knows, who might be able to do it. That way we won't have to listen to the Xi family. Sima Yuyue looked at Meng Sha. This guy looked feminine, but he also seemed to be a vicious and merciless person. His words clearly expressed his dissatisfaction with Sima Yue and the C family, but if one thought about it carefully he was actually speaking up for them. Because his words were mainly to let those people try, he didn't really mean that anyone could do it, and then they wouldn't have to listen to her. Everyone here knew that besides Little Black, who was in Sima Yue's arms, no one else could do it. I think it's feasible too. Luo Qi said, now that the situation is special, if the others can force it back, we can be at ease earlier. Wu Man, what do you think? I have no objections, Wu Man said. Sima Yue looked at these stewards in astonishment, speaking nonsense with a serious face. She thought to herself, these people have a high realm of deceiving people. However, she didn't think that these people were venting anger for her. Wu Man had a good relationship with the C family, so she might be, but Luo Qi and Mengsha might not be. Perhaps they were just dissatisfied with these people and took the opportunity to trick them. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that this was the case. It was because these people had offended her that they caused such a scene. Otherwise, they might have already chased that thing back to where it came from. Since everyone has agreed, then you guys can try it. Mengsha said, let's see if this matter is that easy. If it is, then this little girl can no longer mingle in Ghost City. If it isn't, we can't wrongly accuse her. That's right. Uncle Meng is right. We have to be fair, Siyu said. Zhang Hao wanted to refute, but the other three agreed. They understood that they had offended Sima Yue today. If they didn't appease her anger, they might not be able to continue today. However, these people were either from the Zhang family or were on good terms with the Zhang family in the south of the city. If they really let them go, wouldn't it be a slap to his face? The C family was really despicable. When this matter was over, he would definitely teach them a lesson. He glanced at Sikong and the others, not concealing the hatred in his eyes. With one look, Sima Yue understood what he was thinking. She was not afraid of offending the Zhang family. Anyway, after she found her father, she would definitely leave. Moreover, she had killed Zhang Shua, so there was a feud between them. However, the C family was different. Even if she left, the C family would still be here. Although she had heard that Wu Man and Zhang Hao's relationship was not very good, and they rarely interacted with each other in the south and north of the city, Zhang Hao was still the steward of the south of the city. If they directly fell out, it would be troublesome. Just as she was about to say something, Sikong spoke, still in the same tone as before. I also think this method is feasible. While my child is resting, we can also see the capabilities of old Zhang and your family. They all say that it's easy, but it's not good to just talk and do nothing. Isn't that so? The third brother of the C family also echoed. I heard that the Zhang family's elders said that they are much more powerful than our C family. Today is a good opportunity for us to broaden our horizons. If that's the case, we will say that we are convinced today. We'll wait and see, the eldest brother of the C family said. That's right. When I was playing in the city, I heard the Zhang family say that they are the biggest family in Ghost City. Who can compare to them? As long as they are around, the other families have to step aside. Steward Zhang, since the Zhang family said so, we have to see if it's true. We are all acquaintances. If it's true, we will definitely believe that you are number one in the future. Look, isn't that thing about to get up? Hey, hurry up and howl, or else it's going to get up. Chapter 1341. Her voice was full of nervousness, scaring the others into thinking that the black fog seemed to be spreading out a little more than before. Her voice was full of nervousness, scaring the others into thinking that the black fog seemed to be spreading out a little more than before. Sima Yue looked at the C family, amused. It turned out that Siyu's temperament was not only because she lived in such a happy family, but also because of genetic factors. Didn't they see that this family was eager to see the world in chaos? Saying that at this time, it was obvious that they did not care whether they would offend the Zhang family. However, what she did not know was that the C family and the Zhang family's strength were similar. They were the main families in the north and south of the Ghost City respectively, so they did not have to be afraid of the Zhang family at all. Although the Zhang family had Zhang Hao at the helm, the relationship between the C family and Wu Man was not just for show. That thing is about to counterattack, why don't you guys hurry up and try it? Meng Sha said with a sullen face. No. How can we do such a thing? Zhang Hu said. That's right, it's impossible for us to do this. The others also objected. How could they do such a thing? They could forget about staying in this ghost city in the future. Is that so? Sima Yue shrugged and said, didn't you guys just say righteously that you would think of the people in the city? You guys haven't even tried, yet you know it won't work? I think you guys don't want to, right? Little girl, don't push your luck. Pfft. Sima Yue suddenly laughed. I want to ask, when did I push my luck? After spending so much effort, I didn't get anything out of it. Instead, I was accused of all kinds of crimes. It seems that I can't be a good person. Since you locals don't care about the people, I think I don't have to do anything, Sima Yue said. Little girl, didn't you say you were tired? After resting for so long, you should be feeling better, right? Zhang Hao asked. Oh, this is not something that can be healed in a short time. Everyone should be contributing, but it became my own matter and everyone else is just watching. I feel unbalanced, and when I feel unbalanced, I feel tired. So I guess I didn't rest well. Sima Yue shook her head and sighed. If it weren't for the inappropriate occasion, Siyu would have laughed without caring about her image. However, she held on to Si Kong's hand and gave her a thumbs up. What do you want? Zhang Hao was furious. This junior had disrespected him time and time again, and his heart was filled with killing intent. How could Sima Yue not feel it? Zhang Hao wanted to kill her because of such a small matter, but she was the only one who could suppress that thing at the moment. What a good steward. Nothing much. I said this is not my own matter and I'm tired. If they want me to not be tired, then let them try. At least they have to show that everyone is working hard on this matter. Otherwise, I won't be able to get better. Little sister, since you're so tired, let's not bother about it. Let's go back to the north of the city. Anyway, this thing will first kill the people in the south when it spreads out. When the people in the south are all dead, you'll probably have enough rest. At that time, you'll have a higher chance of winning. The people in other places won't suffer any losses. Siyu looked as if she was worried about Sima Yue. Okay. Then let's go back. Siyu came up and pulled Sima Yue. Dad, open the spatial passage. Let's go back and rest. Si Kong did as he said. He made a seal with one hand and was really going to open the spatial passage. The black fog seemed to have heard that Sima Yue was about to leave, and felt that it could counterattack, so it began to surge again. You guys go and try. Zhang Hao said reluctantly. When he finished, his face was so dark that it could drip water. After he said that, Si Kong also stopped what he was doing and waited for him to continue. The people from the Zhang family were completely stunned. Did he really want them to try? How could they do that? Why are you still standing there? Go down. Zhang Hao saw that they were still standing there and directly kicked Zhang Hu down. Zhang Hu came a few meters away from the spiritual black fog. It seemed that although Zhang Hao was angry, he still had some sense of propriety. He did not directly kick Zhang Hu into the black fog. Zhang Hu saw that Zhang Hao was already angry and did not dare to say anything else. He had already come down. If he went back, how could he survive? In fact, even if he did not go up today, he would not be able to survive. At this time, there were many people in the city standing in the air outside the forbidden area. They could not come in, but they could still see them from afar. Even the patrol team couldn't block everyone, could they? The most they could do was to prevent them from getting close. As for whether they could see it or not, it was none of their business. Those people had been watching for a while. At first, when they heard Sima Yue say that she was not going to do it, they blamed her in their hearts. But gradually, they realized that it was the Zhang family's fault again. Usually, the people in the city were quite disgusted with the Zhang family, but they were so powerful that no one dared to provoke them. However, everyone had heard what Siyu said. Indeed, the Zhang family had said that they were the most powerful. Since the Zhang family was so powerful, they would take a good look. Elder Zhang Hu, our lives are in your hands. Someone shouted from outside. Only then did Zhang Hu and the others notice that many people had gathered around to watch the show. They had to do it today even if they did not want to. Otherwise, those people would really say that the Zhang family did not care about them. No matter how powerful the Zhang family was, if they offended the entire city, they would not be able to survive. Zhang Hu. Zhang Hao shouted, gritting his teeth. Of course, the target of his gritting teeth was the Si family and Sima Yue. Zhang Hu knew that he could not escape today. He condensed spiritual power in his hands and wanted to attack that thing. However, before he could release his spiritual power, he was poured a bucket of cold water on him. If you dare to attack it, I guarantee that you will not live for another second, Sima Yue said faintly. This thing was afraid of Little Black, so it did not come out. However, if it was attacked, it would not continue to be so obedient. Then what do you think I should do? Zhang Hu regretted the moment he asked. Didn't you say that Little Black only howled twice? Then you should howl twice. Remember, howl like my Little Black. Sima Yue stroked her little buttocks. Impossible. How could Zhang Hu let himself bark like a dog? He continued to condense his spiritual power and attacked the black fog. The black fog was already very uncomfortable after being suppressed by Little Black. Now that it was attacked, it was furious. The black fog rushed over in an instant. Zhang Hu did not have time to escape and was surrounded by it. Very quickly the black fog retreated. Zhang Hu's figure was nowhere to be seen, only a pile of bones was left. Sima Yue looked at the pile of bones and thought that it was quite similar to the first time she saw Little Black. Chapter 1342. Little Black knew what Sima Yue was thinking. It looked at the white bones on the ground with contempt and whimpered twice, as if it was dissatisfied with her thinking. Little Black knew what Sima Yue was thinking. It looked at the white bones on the ground with contempt and whimpered twice, as if it was dissatisfied with her thinking. How could it compare to me? How could it compare to me? Yu is too much. The first time Sima Yue saw Little Black, the scene was even scarier than this, so she did not feel anything. But it was different for the others. Many of them were stunned. So powerful. This Zhang Hu is an honorable level expert, but he turned into white bones in such a short time. What the hell is this thing? No matter what it is, as long as you can see it, even a little bit of it will kill you and me. That's right. I didn't expect this thing to be so powerful. Fortunately, we didn't go down. The Zhang family was also shocked. Zhang Hu's strength was not high, but it was not low either. Yet he turned into a pile of white bones in such a short time. It was not an easy thing to do in the past. It's all your fault. It's all your fault for threatening to go down there. You have a way to save everyone, why didn't you? You wanted to F***CK brother Hu to death. What intentions does the C family have? A woman saw Zhang Hu's white bones and burst into tears. When she saw Sima Yue, she wanted to rush up and kill her, but when she saw the C family behind her, she did not dare to do so. Sima Yue was shocked by the way she addressed Zhang Hu. Brother Hu? Why would someone call him such a country bumpkin? But from this, it seemed that this person had a good relationship with Zhang Hu. Siyu pointed at the woman and wanted to scold her, but Sima Yue grabbed her arm and stopped her. Siyu knew that Sima Yue was good at talking, so she did not speak and waited for her to speak. This old granny, what you said is wrong. As expected, Sima Yue's words hit Shirley Sha's sore spot. Her sorrowful face became even angrier. What old granny? Are you blind? Shirley Sha shouted. This Zhang Hu is an elder of the Zhang family, so he is definitely not young. He is definitely older than my grandfather. Since you call him Big Brother Huzi, you should be around the same age. Otherwise, why don't you call him Uncle Hu? Sima Yue explained slowly. You, old granny, I respect your age, so I thought that you should be a reasonable person. Just now, before Zhang Hu made his move, I reminded him that he couldn't use his spiritual power, but he just didn't listen. Can you blame me for that? Sima Yue cut him off with an innocent look. If you did not force him to go down, how could he? Shirley Sha looked at Sima Yue as if he wanted to tear her apart. Old granny, you're wrong again. Sima Yue said, I did not ask him to go down. Wasn't he kicked down by Steward Zhang? I did not say that I would not care about this matter if you did not go down. From the beginning to the end, I said that I was tired and needed to rest. What she said was true, but anyone could see that Sima Yue had deliberately asked them to go down. Moreover, old granny, this Zhang Hu relied on his strength and did not care about the warnings of small fries like us. How can you blame this on me? If he did not use spiritual energy, wouldn't he still be alive and well? So, old granny, this is his own choice, you can't blame others, Sima Yue said. Isn't that so? My little sister reminded him. So many people here saw it and you still want to deny it? Siyu said. If you want to blame my little sister, my C family is not to be trifled with. Sima Yue turned her head and smiled gratefully at Siyu. This girl was getting more and more familiar with calling her little sister. Shirley Sha understood the status of the C family, so he did not dare to shout and kill in front of everyone anymore. However, he already bore a grudge against her and was ready to find a chance to kill her. With such an obvious killing intent, it would be strange if Sima Yue did not feel it. As for this untimed bomb, it was better for her to remove it as soon as possible. Since this old granny cares so much about your brother Hu, why don't you go down and collect his remains? His body has been exposed in front of everyone for too long. Sima Yue kindly reminded. You don't need to tell me, I know. Shirley Sha snorted coldly, hesitated for a moment and flew down. She recalled that when Zhang Hu first went down, the black fog did not have any reaction. It only counterattacked when Zhang Hu used his spiritual energy to attack. Therefore, as long as she did not attack, the black fog should not attack her. Unfortunately, everything was not as she had imagined. Or rather, if not for Sima Yue, everything would have been as she had imagined. Unfortunately, she wanted to kill Yue and Yue did not want her to live. Just as she landed and bent down to pick up Zhang Hu's remains, Sima Yue gently poked Little Black's head. Little Black seemed to be a little unhappy as it shrank its neck and let out a low whimper. Everyone knew about the relationship between Shirley Sha and Zhang Hu, so they were not surprised when she went to collect the remains. They had the same thought as Shirley Sha. As long as she did not use her spiritual energy, there would be no problem. However, what shocked them was that the moment she went to collect the remains, which was also when Little Black whimpered, the black fog once again attacked and swept Shirley Sha into it. The final result was self-evident. Shirley Sha did not collect Zhang Hu's remains. Instead, there was a pile of white bones on the ground. It seems that this thing is very unhappy that Zhang Hu used his spiritual energy to hit it. It did not even let go of the person who went to collect his remains. Siyu giggled and clapped her hands. Others did not notice Sima Yue's actions just now, but she was right beside Yue. Naturally, she noticed it. On the other side, Wu Man was the same. However, to the Zhang family, the death of one or two of them did not affect her. The Zhang family did not expect to lose two people in the early stage of the Venerable Realm. Their faces were extremely dark. It was all Sima Yue's fault. If it were not for her, how could Zhang Hu and Wu Man die? How could they lose two masters? However, no matter how much they hated her, they could not touch her before the matter was settled. Have you rested enough? Zhang Hao did not even use the word little girl this time. It was obvious that he was very angry. Not yet. The more angry he was, the more Sima Yue refused to give him face. Didn't you say that you would rest well after they went down to try it? Yes, I did say so. Sima Yue nodded. But, didn't we only try one person? There were so many people talking just now. If we don't try it all, how will we know if they can do it? As she said this, the faces of those who had scolded her just now changed. Chapter 1343. Sima Yue proudly looked at the panicking power. Do you really think I can't deal with you? However, she also felt lucky that she didn't trust this guy and let the purple heavenly thunder of extreme take precautions in advance. However, in his heart he also felt that it was a close shave. Fortunately, he didn't trust this fellow and had prepared the purple sky thunder in advance. If you play any more tricks, I'll destroy you. If you play any more tricks, I'll destroy you. If Blackie can't do it, what do you think about the purple heavenly thunder? Although that thing was unwilling, it did not dare to play any tricks. In the end, it had no choice but to recognize her as its master. Although that thing was unwilling, it didn't dare to play any more tricks. In the end, it had no choice but to recognize her as its master. Sima Yue called out softly when she felt the connection with that thing. Siyu and Diwu came down and saw her confused look. Little sister, what's wrong? Sima Yue looked at them and said, I already have a soul contract. I didn't expect this thing to have a soul contract with me too. So it's a little strange. Usually, a person can only have one soul contract, right? Maybe your soul is too strong so you can contract more. Siyu guessed. That's possible. Sima Yue said, since the stronger the mental strength, the more spirit beasts can be contracted. Then, the stronger the soul, the more soul contracts can be made. That's right. That's the theory. Siyu said, little sister, can you let it transform and take a look? I'm a little curious about what it looks like. Sima Yue shook her head and said, it looks like this. It doesn't have a specific shape. However, it can transform into other forms. Because of the soul contract, she had a better understanding of it. What can it transform into? Mill, let's see you see what it looks like. Sima Yue smiled and ordered. Mill was the name she gave it. The black fog floating above the pool slowly condensed into a shape. When it was completed, everyone saw that it was Siyu. Even her aura was very similar. Wow, it really looks like it. Siyu exclaimed in surprise. Mill, change it. The black fog dissipated and when it reassembled, it turned into Sima Yue. Because they had a soul contract, even its aura was exactly the same. It looked like there were really two Sima Yues. This is amazing. Siyu looked at the two Sima Yuyus. With Mill, it would be so much more convenient for her in the future. Sima Yue did not expect Mill to have this ability. This was the first time since ancient times. Although Qianyin could also transform, she was the only one who could do so. If she wanted to imitate others, it was impossible to imitate their aura. Mill, on the other hand, could imitate other people's aura to perfection. It was even better than Qianyin. Most importantly, Qianyin could only imitate those of the light attribute. while Mil's impersonation was not restricted by other attributes. In other words, it could imitate humans, ghosts, and demons. Mil could be considered the only one in the world to have intelligence born from Sure. But, little sister, now that you two have a soul contract, will Old Witch and the others find out? Siyu said worriedly. She did not feel it, but the Old Witch and the others were very powerful. Perhaps they would notice something different about Meyer. I have completely cut off contact with my clone. The contract on my body will not be transferred to it. No matter how powerful they are, they won't be able to find out, Mil said. Then we'll do as you say. Mir nodded, and the transformed Sima Yue dispersed. Then all the black fog on the surface of the water sank. At the same time, the water in the pool slowly decreased, and the color became lighter, from black to colorless. Poof! A few drops of water left the pool and flew to Sima Yue's right wrist, forming a faint black plum. Then, the water in the pool increased and it became the same as before. It's done, Mil said. Only then did they know that the separation was done. That's it. The water in the pool didn't seem to have changed. Those are all dregs. It's useless to keep them, Mil explained. His strength was all in the plum blossom in Sima Yue's hand. With it, it could turn into thousands of pools of water. Sima Yue looked at the plum blossom on the back of her hand. Can this change into other colors? Whatever color you want. Could it be like that? Sima Yue thought of red, and the plum blossom really turned red, tender and beautiful. She thought of white, green and purple. As long as she thought of something, the plum blossom on her hand would change into that color. This was even faster than a chameleon. After that, she made it turn black. In this place, black was more suitable. But what made her feel strange was that her strength didn't increase at all after this contract. She guessed that it might be because it wasn't an ordinary spirit beast. By the way, didn't this fellow say that it knows where your father is? Where is your father now? Siyu asked. This fellow doesn't know at all. It was lying to us before, Sima Yue said. But it said that it has something to do with the old witch. This fellow's words can't be trusted. Anyway, isn't the city lord coming back? We'll know when the time comes. Sima Yue wasn't very anxious now. The more anxious she was, the easier it would be for others to find out, and it would cause trouble instead. This old witch is not easy to deal with. Why don't we ask Ant-Man after this matter is settled? Siyu said. Yes. I'll have to trouble you when the time comes, Sima Yue said. It's nothing. I think Ant-Man likes you very much. Thinking of what Siyu had said before, that Wu Man also liked her father, she wondered what it would be like to face her mother's love rival alone. After settling the matter with Mil, the square was no longer a threat to them. But to keep up appearances, they still waited in the square, making food and chatting. Just like that, 3 days passed. On this day, Sima Yue was discussing the formation with Siyu. Suddenly they felt a strong force moving toward them. The two looked at each other and thought, finally it's here. In just a few breaths, a group of people arrived in the sky above the Forbidden Land. In the blink of an eye they arrived at the square. The leader was a woman dressed in black with heavy makeup. Although her facial features were very exquisite and could be said to be even prettier than Sima Yue, because of the dark aura around her, she looked very lifeless. Sima Yue suddenly felt a little worried. Would this old witch be able to sense the connection between her and her father's aura? Master, don't worry. Right now you have a dark aura, but it is similar to your mother's. Unless they came into contact with your mother before, they will not be able to guess your identity. Mil knew what she was thinking and comforted her. Hearing this, she felt relieved. These people did not know the relationship between her mother and father. Naturally, they would not think that she was Sima Liuxuan's daughter. Chapter 1344. Kuei Mingdai looked at the people on the square and said to the people behind her, Is it them? Yes, City Lord. Siyu pulled Sima Yue's clothes and bowed to Kuei Mingdai, saying, Greetings, City Lord. Greetings, City Lord. Sima Yue and Di Wamusi followed suit and bowed. Kuei Mingdai looked at Blackie on the ground and frowned slightly, saying, Whose nether beast is this? City Lord, it's mine. Sima Yue replied. Kuei Mingdai looked at Sima Yue, not knowing if she was happy or angry. After Sima Yue's forehead was covered in sweat, she said lightly, Not bad. City Lord, hurry up and seal this thing. Wu Man reminded, interrupting Kuei Mingdai's sizing up of Sima Yue. Yes, it's been hard on you. Kuei Mingdai nodded to Wu Man, bypassed Sima Yue and came to the side of the pond. Sima Yue saw that she was standing there without moving and was worried that she had discovered something. If she really found something wrong with Mil and guessed that she had made a contract with him, a fight would be inevitable. Although she wasn't afraid, she hadn't found her father yet. If she fell out with them now, it would be even more difficult to get information. Master, don't worry. She won't find anything wrong. Mill comforted. Yes. Sima Yue responded in her heart. Although this guy was full of lies before the contract and wanted to kill her during the contract, he was still more obedient after the contract. In fact, Mill felt very wronged. He didn't expect that Sima Yue not only had Little Black to suppress him, but also had the purple heavenly thunder, his nemesis, and even the divine bird Vermilion Bird's nirvana flame. No matter which one it was the nemesis of all nemeses. If it had even the slightest intention to retaliate, it would probably be destroyed by them until not even a speck was left. Since it couldn't resist, it could only accept it. Although it was very uncomfortable to be bound by someone from now on, it could also see that Sima Yue was not a creature in the pond. She would definitely soar in the sky. It wasn't too much of a loss to follow such a person. The most important thing was that it didn't have to stay in the pond anymore. Since its master often ran around, it could also follow her to see everywhere. Freedom, freedom. Thinking of this, it couldn't stop crying. It was a smart guy. After thinking about this, it also accepted its fate, so it treated Sima Yue sincerely. Although Sima Yue believed Mill's words, she was still a little worried. Fortunately, Kuei Mingdai only paused for a moment. Then, with a wave of her hand, a seal sealed Mill's clone into the pond. She then turned to Sima Yue and said, I heard about what happened before from Wu Man and the others. This time it's all thanks to you and your spirit beast. When this matter is over, you will be rewarded. This is a forbidden area. I hope you don't tell anyone about what happened here after you leave, and don't come back in the future. Wu Man, you can take them away. Yes, City Lord, said Wu Man, we will take our leave. Not only Sima Yue and the others but everyone else also left, leaving only Kuei Mingdai in the square. Every time there is a seal she drives us out. She is really afraid that we will learn the method of the seal. Zhang Hao said discontentedly. Only then did Sima Yue know that Kuei Mingdai drove them out to prevent others from knowing the method of the seal. This thing was too dangerous. If she was the only one who knew the method of the seal, even if others were disloyal, they would not dare to really seize power. This was just like a few days ago. Although Zhang Hao hated her to the core, he could not touch her. When is she not like this? What's there to be angry about? Is she not going to drive us out and wait for us to learn inside? Meng Sha ridiculed, but it was unknown whether the target of his ridicule was Kuei Mingdai or Zhang Hao. Alright, let's go back first. See you, Si Qin, you two follow me back to the north of the city, Wu Man said. Are we not going to wait here? Si Yu asked. They still wanted to know if the old witch would discover anything so they could prepare in advance. If they left, wouldn't they not know? Every time the city lord seals, it will take 2 days and then she will rest for half a month. She still has injuries on her body, so I'm afraid she will rest even longer. Therefore it is useless for us to stay here. When the city lord recovers, she will naturally call us over, Wu Man explained. So that's how it is. Then little sister, let's go back with Aunt Man. Siyu held Sima Yue's hand and said. Wu Man opened a spatial passage and brought Sima Yue and the others in. After that, Meng Sha and the others also opened their own spatial passages and returned to their own mansions. When Sima Yue came out of the spatial passage, she finally understood why they had to use this in a city. The city was really too big. After they came out, the enchantment protecting Moose also disappeared. Sima Yue was very grateful to Wu Man for doing this, so that Moose's frail body would not suffer the pain of the spatial compression. Mu Lianjie had gone to save her father, so regardless of whether he was still alive or not, she decided to protect Moose like her own little brother. Sigh, I just went out not long ago and now I'm back again, Siyu sighed. You already went out to play and you don't even know how to return home and you still say that you just went out not long ago? I think after a while, I'm afraid you won't even remember what home looks like. The person who spoke was third brother Si, who had just entered the courtyard from outside. Third brother, how could I not remember? Siyu went up and held third brother Si's hand saying, Where are father and the others? Si family's third brother pinched her nose, his doting expression evident on his face. They are in the study dealing with some matters with the elders. Jiqing is still talking, I don't know when you will come back. Aunt Man is already at our house. Why is father still discussing things? Siyu muttered. I heard that something big happened outside the city. Father didn't say what it was exactly, third brother Si said. Aunt Man, thank you for bringing youngest sister and the others back. Only then did Sima Yue know that Wu Man had directly brought them back to the Si family. Wu Man softly grunted, then asked, Where did something happen? It seems to be the place that leads to the world of ghosts and souls. Father previously said that he would discuss it with you when Ant-Man comes back. He still wants to discuss it with Ant-Man? Seems like something big really happened. Is it related to what happened a few days ago? Siyu asked curiously. Don't look at me like that. Whether it's related or not, won't you know when Father comes out? Third brother C saw the look in his youngest sister's eyes and knew that she was plotting against him. While they were talking, Si Kong, who had already sensed their return, suddenly appeared in the courtyard. He had always loved his daughter as much as his life, but this time he acted as if he did not see Siyu. He looked at Wu Man and said, "Something happened." Chapter 1345. Wu Man's eyes darkened. Wu Man's eyes darkened. Something that could make Si Kong so serious was definitely not a trivial matter. Siyu rarely saw her father's expression. Even she herself did not see it. She asked curiously, "Father, what happened? You're back too?" Si Kong finally saw his precious daughter. "Since you're back, go and rest. I'll come to see you after I'm done discussing with your Ant-Man. Wu Man, let's go to the study." Okay. Wu Man nodded and disappeared with Si Kong at the same time. They could even disappear without opening a spatial passage. This kind of strength reminded Sima Yue of the people around Feng Rian. They had also disappeared directly. Siyu saw them leave just like that. She curled her lips and muttered, "What on earth happened? Father doesn't even have time to talk to me." Third brother of the C family also put away his usual joking manner and comforted his little sister. Something big must have happened to make Father so anxious. "Don't be angry at Father." "I know," Siyu said. "I'm just thinking that it must be something big for Father to be so anxious. Why don't we go and listen to it and see if we can help?" "That won't do." Third brother pulled her back and said, "Don't forget Father's rules. You can go anywhere except his study without orders. Don't you have a guest? Why aren't you going to ask them to stay? Do you want them to go and mess around with you?" Siyu looked at Sima Yue and the other two, sighed and said, "All right, I'll bring little sister to stay in my courtyard. The courtyard next to yours has been cleaned up. You can bring them there. It's close to your courtyard." Third brother C said. "All right. Little sister, let's go." Sima Yue had not spoken since the beginning. She did not know what happened to Si Kong and the others, but her intuition told her that it should have something to do with Mill being contracted. However, she had just arrived, so it was not appropriate for her to ask too much. She could only follow Siyu down. Siyu brought Sima Yue, Moose and Di Wu to the courtyard next to hers. Here, River Earl did not need to follow her. He was called over by third brother for questioning. Regarding Sima Yue's matter, although the C family had supported her and helped her before, they actually did not know much about her. Therefore, they wanted to ask him to find out more about her situation, to find out who she was and what her purpose was. "River Earl, come with me. Big brother and the others are waiting." "Yes, third young master." Si Hui took River Earl to his own yard, where his big brother Si Zhe and his second brother Si Yi were waiting for them. Seeing them come in, the two brothers stood up and cupped their hands towards River Earl. "River Earl." The young master of the family actually had to salute River Earl. It could be seen how high his position in the family was. "Thank you for your hard work these days, River Earl," Si Zhe said gratefully. "Eldest young master is too polite." River Earl returned the salute. "We have some things to ask you. Please sit down." River Earl sat down. Si Zhe and his two brothers sat down as well. "River Earl, what's the name of the girl my little sister brought back? How did they meet? What's her identity?" Si asked. River Earl casually set up a barrier to prevent others from eavesdropping, then said, "That girl's name is Sima Yue. She's Sima Liuxuan's daughter." "Sima Luxian? How can she be his daughter?" "River Earl, are you sure?" Si Hui said in surprise. "She should be right." River Earl said. "She came here to save her father." "But her father? If people know her identity, I'm afraid it will bring trouble." Si frowned. Why did his little sister bring back such a troublesome person? "Miss likes her very much," River Earl said. River Earl said, "According to my observation in the past few days, she is indeed a girl worth befriending." To be praised by River Earl, it means that this person is indeed not bad. Si Zhe sighed. "Isn't that so, River Earl? You rarely praise someone. Why don't you tell us about her so that we can have a better understanding?" Si said. "All right." On the other side, Siyu brought Sima Yue and the others to an exquisite small courtyard. She said, "This courtyard wasn't used to receive guests, but my father and the others probably guessed that I would want you to stay close to me. That's why they prepared this courtyard. If you think it's too small, we can change to something else. That's fine. The three of us are enough. This courtyard is very beautiful. Sima Yue smiled. As long as you like it. Siyu saw that they didn't seem to be pretending, so she was happy. I don't really like maids, so I don't have many people around me. I'll ask Big Brother and the others to send a few maids over. There's no need. I don't usually have a habit of using maids. Sima Yue said. But, since when did I have maids by my side? I'm not used to it if you send someone over. Sima Yue said. Alright then. When the time comes, don't say that I've neglected you. How could I? Then I'll tell the kitchen to remember to prepare food for Moose every day. That way you don't have to cook for him every day. Siyu said. Sima Yue originally wanted to refuse, but she remembered that she had things to do later on. She might not be back at any time, and Moose really needed someone to take care of him here. Then I'll have to trouble you. If I'm not around later on, I'll have to ask you to take care of Moose. No problem. With such a big sea family, one more Moose would not make a difference at all. Thank you. Moose bowed to her. It's rare that this guy would take the initiative to speak to me. Siyu teased. Moose pursed his lips and did not respond to her. Siyu, do you think that what your father said just now has something to do with Mill? Sima Yue asked. You have this feeling too? Siyu said with some surprise. I also feel that it might have something to do with it, but father hasn't said anything, so we don't know. Seeing that Sima Yue was worried, she smiled and said, Anyway, you're only here to find your father. Other things don't matter. I'm just afraid that it has something to do with father, Sima Yue said. If you're worried, wait for father and the others to come out. We'll ask them what's going on. Siyu comforted her. All right. In addition to Sikong and Wu Man, there were two other elders in Sikong's study room. The two of them looked old and were not ordinary elders. Wu Man was a little surprised to see them. She nodded slightly at them and they also nodded back. What the hell is going on? How could the two elders be alarmed? Mapu Chinese. Chapter 1346. It turned out that those two were not elders, but clan elders who had a higher status than the elders. However, the clan elders were generally the most powerful in the clan. They usually cultivated in seclusion and rarely interfered with the clan's affairs. However, the clan elders were generally the ones with the highest strength in the clan. They were usually in closed-door training and rarely interfered with the clan's affairs. The fact that he appeared in Sikong's study room today meant that the matter was indeed serious. Sikong's words made Wu Man's heart skip a beat. She asked, The mine is in chaos? Sikong's words made Wu Man's heart skip a beat. She asked, The mine is in chaos? Sikong's words made Wu Man's heart skip a beat. She asked, The mine is in chaos? When you went to pick up the city lord, I sensed movement in the mine, so I brought some people to check it out. In the end, I found that everyone in the mine was dead. When you went to pick up the city lord, I sensed some movement in the mine, so I brought some people to check it out. As a result, I found that everyone in the mine is dead. Everyone is dead. I've seen it. The situation in the mine is in chaos. Sikong said, and according to the information we received, it's not only our mine, but the other clans are also having problems. Is it all because of the situation? The other clans have all sealed the information, but the problem occurred at about the same time as ours. I think it should be about the same. So, I want to ask, is there any situation in the forbidden area? Wu Man thought for a while and said, There's nothing special. During those days, only you, and a few others were there. Maybe they know what happened. Then we can only call them over and ask. Someone go and invite young Miss and her friends over. Yes, master. The guards at the door responded and left. Sima Yue and the others had just settled down and were about to go to Siyu's courtyard when they saw the guards coming over. Young Miss, master invites you and the guests to the study. Father wants me to go to the study? Siyu was a little surprised and looked at Sima Yue. They had just said that something big had happened, and now he wanted them to go to the study. Could it be related to them? Yes, young Mississippi, I see. Go back and tell father. We'll go there right away. Siyu ordered. Yes, young Mississippi, the guards left and a deep worry appeared on their faces. It's fine if father wants to find me, but now he wants to find you. Could it be that this matter has something to do with you? Could it be because you contracted Mir? I think it's very likely, Sima Yue said. Otherwise he wouldn't have asked me to go. I'm just afraid that the contract has caused some trouble. I didn't see anything unusual when I contracted. You contracted something in the Forbidden Land. What does it have to do with other places? Siyu said. Although we didn't see it, it doesn't mean that it didn't happen. Let's go. We'll know what's going on when we see your father, Sima Yue said. Well, that's all we can do. Siyu brought Sima Yue to the study. The guards opened the door when they saw them and said, Master said that you can go in directly. Sima Yue and Siyu entered together. They saw Wu Man and Si Kong sitting in the main seats, and the other two elders sitting in the lower seats. Siyu was shocked when she saw the two elders. She guessed that this matter was not a trivial matter. Greetings, Father, Ant-Man and the two elders. Sima Yue did not expect these two to be the elders. Since even the elders had come, this matter must be very serious. Greetings, Master Si, Steward. She bowed to the two people sitting in the main seats. Because she was not a member of the Si family, she did not bow to the two elders. I called you here today because I have something to ask you. Father, please speak. Siyu maintained a calm expression. When you were guarding the Forbidden Land, did anything unusual happen? Si Kong asked. Unusual? Siyu was shocked, but she did not show any reaction on her face. She frowned slightly and said, What happened in the Forbidden Land? Seeing his daughter like this, Si Kong understood. He sighed and said, If anything happened in the Forbidden Land, you must tell us. The family has been in big trouble recently. What happened in the family? Is it related to the Forbidden Land? Siyu asked. Do you know where the family's mine is? Si Kong asked. Siyu nodded. Third brother and the others brought me there before. Could it be that something happened to the mine? That's right. 3 days ago, for some unknown reason, the situation in the mountains became chaotic. Some of the mines directly collapsed and all the miners in the mines died. Si Kong said, The life of the family is tied to the mine. Now do you know how serious this matter is? Be it in the outside world or here, the mine was related to the development of the family's strength. If the mine was gone, the family could only walk towards extinction. No wonder Si Kong was so anxious. It was indeed a matter of life and death. Since it was related to the survival of the family, Siyu did not dare to hide anything. She looked at Sima Yue apologetically, but saw Sima Yue smiling at her. That meant, it's okay, tell me. What, did something really happen? That it's little sister. She contracted the thing in the pool, Siyu said. At that time, that fellow said that contracting it would not cause anything, so, contracted it? Everyone in the house cried out. It was obvious how powerful and frightening that thing was. Who would have thought that she would actually be able to form a contract with it? But I didn't feel that the thing in the pool had a contract with it. I didn't notice anything strange, Wu Man said. The thing in the pool was Mill's doppelganger. It said that as long as it was completely cut off from its doppelganger, it would not be noticed, Siyu explained. So, this matter was caused by the thing in the pool being contracted? Si Kong frowned. Father, Mill said that contracting it would not cause anything else. That's why Yue contracted it, Siyu explained. Moreover, Mill is quite pitiful. Ever since it gained sentience, it has been suppressed in the forbidden area by the successive castellans for their cultivation. That's why it wanted to come out. Let's not talk about whether it's pitiful or not. Its sentience was born from the influence. Do you know that this fellow has been in contact with almost all the influences in the mines in this space for so many years? Once it's contracted, all the influences will be affected, Wu Man said. How did those influences get involved with Mill? Siyu was puzzled. Because it's equivalent to the king in there. Those influences will also be affected by it. Moreover, they are connected underground. Isn't Mill in the pool? It's not a pool, Si Kong said. You won't understand even if I say it now. He looked at Sima Yue. He still did not know her name. Master Si, my name is Sima Yue. What? When the 3 Si family members heard her name, they were all shocked. The way they looked at her changed. Wu Man seemed to have thought of something and her eyes became a little dim. Chapter 1347. Sima Yue. You are that person's daughter? Si Kong looked at Wu Man with a complicated expression. Wu Man blinked her eyes and collected all her emotions. She said, Let's talk about the matter in front of us now. Yes, let's settle the matter in front of us first. Si Kong looked at Wu Man with a complicated expression. Yes, let's settle the matter in front of us first. Si Kong said, My little friend Yue, can we take a look at your contracted beast? Sima Yue agreed. With a thought, a miniature version of herself appeared in front of everyone. Is this what she looks like? No, she just transformed into this form for me. Sima Yue said. I think she has no shape? A clan elder said, power is a kind of natural force, so it probably doesn't have a specific shape. Yes. Sima Yue did not hide anything. Siyu and River Earl were both there at that time. If the current situation is really caused by it, it might be able to turn for the better. Wu Man said. It's possible. Siyu looked at Mill. Why don't you give it a try? That? Sima Yue saw that they had all shifted their attention to Mill and completely ignored her. She said, actually, if this force is messed up, we can just clear it up again. That's right. Siyu slapped her head, startling the others. You are what's wrong? Little sister. Little sister. Siyu pulled Sima Yue's hand. If Mill is useless, you can let little sister go. Everyone was stunned. They immediately reacted and asked Sima Yue, are you a spirit seeker? Yes, Sima Yue admitted. Yes, he is a spirit seeker. It's not strange that you are one, Wu Man murmured. But this force is already completely messed up. Can you guide them? Si Kong knew about the situation in the mine and did not believe that Sima Yue could do it. After all, she looked too young. Even if she had obtained the true inheritance of her family, she might not have studied it thoroughly. Could she be as monstrous as her father? Her father? Thinking of Sima Luxian, he sighed in his heart. The world really made fools of people. I can't guarantee it now. I have to go and see the situation first, Sima Yue said. Well, let's go and take a look. Si Kong said, the spirit seeker in the family has been guarding there for 3 days, but they still haven't found a solution. So, you have to be mentally prepared. I know. Si Kong was quite impressed with Sima Yue's attitude. She did not directly say whether she could do it or not. She did not boast or be too humble. Sima Yue also had a good impression of Si Kong. He did not look down on her because of her young age. Instead, he told her about the situation there so that she could be mentally prepared. Father, let me go with you, Siyu requested. When she saw Si Kong frowning, she went up and put her arm around his shoulder. Since little sister can go, I can go too. I know array formations, maybe I can be of help. Si Kong's refusal was stuck in his throat. Then you can't run around. It's very dangerous there. You have to stay with the clan elders. Yes. I won't run around, Siyu promised. Then let's go now. The two clan elders stood up together as if they had a tacit understanding. Si Kong and Wu Man also stood up. They opened a space passage and brought Siyu and Sima Yue into it. When they came out of the space passage, they were already on top of a mountain range. This mountain range was different from the ones they had seen in the past. Every mountain peak was incomplete. Some were broken in half, some had many holes, and some had completely turned into piles of rocks. Among the piles of rocks, there were fresh bloodstains. They should be from those who had been absent from work. Sima Yue noticed that there was a layer of enchantment outside the mountain, which prevented the force from running out. Judging from the impact of the enchantment, the force inside the mountain was not peaceful. Seeing that Sima Yue noticed the enchantment immediately, Si Kong explained, this was set up by the clan elders immediately after the incident. The clan elders reacted very quickly, Sima Yue said. Sima Yue said, the mountain's momentum did not dissipate much, so it did not affect the entire mine much. But this way we can't mine anymore. If it takes too long, the whole mine will be destroyed. Every ore vein would form a force when it formed. The force in every ore vein had its own trajectory. What a spirit seeker had to do was to figure out the trajectory of the force so that the workers could avoid those places. This was commonly known as the opening of the force. If the opening of the force was not done well, either all the force would be released, which would affect the grade of the mine, or the force would be messed up, destroying the interior of the mine. Another possibility was that Quang Gong could not figure out the direction of the force, and did not avoid it when he was mining, which would cause the force to move. In the end, Quang Gong would die together with it. Therefore, no matter which one it was something that humans did not want to see happen. Hence, the force was of utmost importance. Generally speaking, the force in the mine was relatively stable. If there was no big movement, they would not be in such a mess. Si Kong saw that her analysis of the current situation was very accurate, and believed that she had some understanding of Spirit Seeker. Not far from where they came out, there was a group of people analyzing the situation below. When they saw them, they hurried forward to greet them. Greetings, steward, patriarch, and clan elder. Si Kong waved his hand, gesturing for them to rise. He asked, what's the situation now? Reporting to patriarch, the force in the mine is still in an uncontrollable state. This subordinate is incompetent. Not only did we not guide them back to their positions, but we also almost let them break through the barrier. One of the white-bearded old men said guiltily, Elder Yin, there is no need to blame yourself. This matter happened too suddenly, and we have never encountered something like this before. It is reasonable that we could not think of a solution. We just hope that everyone can get along as soon as possible. This matter will only get more troublesome the longer it drags on. Si Kong said. We will definitely do our best. Elder Yen said. Yue, these are the spirit seekers of the family. Si Kong introduced. If you have any suggestions or opinions, you can tell them. Si Kong said it tactfully. He always had to give some face to the elders of the family. If Sima Yue could not think of anything, it would not be embarrassing for her to say it this way. All right. Sima Yue nodded. Patriarch, this is? Elder Yin saw that Si Kong was so polite to Sima Yue, and he was curious about her identity. Yue is also a spirit seeker. There are elders in the family who are very good at this, so I asked her to come over and see if she can think of any solution. Si Kong explained. Chapter 1348. Sima Yue looked proudly at the panicking strength. You brat, do you think I can't deal with you? However, in his heart he also felt that it was a close call. Fortunately, he did not trust this fellow and had made the purple top-grade Heavenly Lightning take precautions in advance. I'm giving you one last chance. If you play any more tricks, I'll kill you. Blackie can't do it. What do you think about the purple celestial thunder? Although that thing was unwilling, it did not dare to play any more tricks. In the end, it had no choice but to acknowledge her as its master. Sima Yue called out softly when she felt the connection with that thing. Siyu and Diwu came down and saw her confused look. Little sister, what's wrong? Sima Yue looked at them and said, I already have a soul contract with it. I didn't expect this thing to have a soul contract with me. That's why it's a little strange. Normally, a person can only have one soul contract, right? Maybe it's because your soul is too strong so you can form another contract. Siyu guessed. It could be. Sima Yue said, since the stronger one's mental strength, the more spirit beasts one can contract, the stronger one's soul, the more spirit beasts one can contract. That's right. That's the logic. Siyu said, little sister, can you let it transform for a look? I'm a little curious about what he looks like. Sima Yue shook her head and said, it's like this, it doesn't have a specific shape. However, it can transform into other forms. Because of the soul contract, she had a better understanding of it. What forms can it take? Mi-air, let's see you see what he looks like. Sima Yue instructed with a smile. Mil was the name she gave it. The black fog floating above the pool slowly condensed into a shape. When it was done, everyone took a look. Wasn't it Siyu's appearance? Even her aura was very similar. Wow, this really looks like it. Siyu cried out in surprise. Mi-air, change it. The black fog dissipated, and when it reassembled, it turned into Sima Yue. Because they had a contract, even their auras were exactly the same. It was as if there were really two Sima Yue. This is too magical. Siyu looked at the two Sima Yue. With Mi-air, it would be much easier for her to do things in the future. Sima Yue did not expect Mi-air to have such a function. This was the first time in history. Although Thousand Resonance could also transform previously, other than her, the others could only transform and could not transform. If one wanted to imitate others, this aura could not be imitated. As for Mi-air, he was able to imitate other people's aura almost perfectly. He was even better than Thousand Resonance. Most importantly, Thousand Resonance could only imitate the light element, but Mi-air's imitation was not restricted by the other elements. In other words, it could imitate humans, ghosts, and demons. Mi-air could be considered to be the only one in the world who had intelligence born from Sure. But little sister, now that the two of you have formed a contract, will the old witch and the others find out? Siyu said worriedly. She did not feel it, but the old witch and the others were very powerful. They might find out that Mi-air was different from before. I have completely cut off contact with my doppelganger. The contract on my body will not be transferred to him. No matter how powerful they are, they will not find out. Mi-air said. Then let's do as you say. Mi-air nodded. The Sima Yue that he transformed into dissipated. Then the black fog on the water's surface sank down. At the same time, the water in the pool slowly decreased. The color also became lighter, from the previous black to colorless. Poof! A few drops of water separated from the pool and flew to Sima Yue's right wrist, forming a faint black plum blossom. Then the water in the pool increased and returned to its original state. Done. Mi-air spoke. Only then did they know that they had separated. That's it? The water in the pool did not seem to have any changes. Those are all dregs. There's no point in keeping them. Mier explained. His power was in the plum blossom on Sima Yue's hand. With it, it could transform into thousands of pools of water. Sima Yue looked at the plum blossom on the back of her hand. Can this turn into other colors? You can think of any color you want. It could be like this? Sima Yue thought of red. The plum blossom really turned red, tender and beautiful. Then she thought of white, green and purple. As long as she thought of something, the plum blossom on her hand would turn into that color. This was even faster than a chameleon. Then she made it turn black. In this place, black was more suitable. But what made her feel strange was that after this contract, her power did not increase at all. She guessed that maybe it was because it was not an ordinary spirit beast. Oh right, didn't this guy say that he knew your father's whereabouts? Where is your father now? Siyu asked. This guy doesn't know at all. He was lying to us before. Sima Yue said, but he said that it has something to do with the old witch. This guy's words can't be trusted. Anyway, isn't the city lord coming back? We'll know when the time comes. Sima Yue was not very anxious now. The more anxious she was now, the easier it would be for others to find out and it would cause trouble. This old witch is not easy to deal with. Why don't we wait for this matter to be settled and ask Aunt Man? Siyu said. We'll have to trouble you when the time comes. Sima Yue said. It's nothing. I think Aunt Man likes you quite a lot. Thinking of what Siyu said before, Wu Man liked her father too. She wondered how it would be like to face her mother's love rival alone. After settling Mi Er's matter, this square would not be a threat to them at all. But to put on an act, they still waited in the square, eating and chatting. 3 days passed just like that. On this day, Sima Yue was discussing arrays with Siyu. Suddenly they felt a strong force moving towards them. Both of them looked at each other and thought that it was finally here. In just a few breaths, a group of people arrived above the forbidden area. In a blink of an eye, they arrived at the square. The leader was a woman in black with heavy makeup. Although her facial features were exquisite and could be said to be prettier than Sima Yue, because of the dark aura around her, it made her look lifeless. Sima Yue was suddenly worried. Would this old witch see through the connection between her and her father's aura? Master, don't worry. You have a dark aura now. It's just similar to your mother. Unless they have interacted with your mother before, they won't be able to guess your identity. Mi Er knew what she was thinking and comforted her. She was relieved when it said that. These people didn't know about the relationship between her mother and father. Naturally, they wouldn't think that she was Sima Lu Xian's daughter. Chapter 1349. Wei Ming Dai looked at the people on the square and said to the people behind her, "It's them?" "Yes, City Lord." Siyu tugged on Sima Yue's clothes and bowed to Wei Ming Dai, saying, "Greetings, City Lord." "Greetings, City Lord." Sima Yue, Di Wu and Mu Si bowed as well. Wei Ming Dai looked at Little Black on the ground and frowned slightly. "Who does this underworld beast belong to?" "Yes, it's mine," Sima Yue replied. Wei Ming Dai looked at Sima Yue, not knowing whether to be happy or angry. When Sima Yue's forehead was covered in sweat, she said calmly, "Not bad. City Lord, we should quickly seal this thing." Wu Man reminded, interrupting Wei Ming Dai's observation of Sima Yue. "And sorry to trouble you." Wei Ming Dai nodded at Wu Man and walked around Sima Yue and the rest to the side of the pool. Sima Yue saw that she was standing there motionlessly and was worried that she might have discovered something. If they really found out that something was wrong with Mi Er and guessed that she had contracted it, a battle would be unavoidable. Although she wasn't afraid, it would be even more difficult to get information if she fell out with them before finding her father. "Master, don't worry. She won't notice anything wrong." Mi Er comforted. "Okay." Sima Yue replied in her heart. Although this guy was full of lies before the contract and wanted to kill him during the contract, he was still quite obedient after the contract. In fact, Mi Er felt very wronged. It did not expect Sima Yue to not only have Little Black to suppress it, she also had the purple top-grade lightning which was its nemesis. She even had the divine bird Vermilion Bird's Nirvana flame. No matter which one it was the nemesis of all nemesis. If it had the slightest intention of rebelling, it would have been completely annihilated by them. Since he could not resist, he could only accept it. Although it was uncomfortable to be bound by someone, it could tell that Sima Yue was not a fish in a pond. She would definitely soar into the sky. It wasn't too bad to follow this kind of person. The most important thing was that it didn't have to stay in the pool anymore. Its master often ran around and it could follow her around to see the world. Freedom. Freedom. When it thought of this, it couldn't help but cry. It was a smart guy. After thinking it through, it accepted its fate. That was why it treated Sima Yuyu sincerely. Although Sima Yue believed Mi Er's words, she was still worried. Luckily, Wei Ming Dai only paused for a while and waved her hand. A seal sealed Mi Er's avatar in the pool. She then turned to Sima Yue and said, I heard from Wu Man and the rest about what happened before. This time it's all thanks to you and your spirit beast. When this matter is over, you will be rewarded. This is a forbidden area. I hope that after you leave, you won't tell anyone about what happened here. Don't come back in the future. Wu Man, you can bring them away. Yes, City Lord. Wu Man said. We will take our leave. Not only Sima Yue and the rest, everyone else left. Only Wei Ming Dai was left in the plaza. She chased us out every time she sealed it. She's really afraid that we would learn the sealing method. Zhang Hao said unhappily. Sima Yue then knew that Wei Ming Dai chased them out because she didn't want anyone to know the sealing method. This thing was too dangerous. If she was the only one who knew the sealing method, no one would dare to steal her power even if they had other intentions. This was why Zhang Hao hated her so much a few days ago, but he couldn't do anything to her. Since when wasn't she like this? What's there to be angry about? Could it be that she didn't chase us out and waited for us to learn it inside? Meng Sha mocked, but it wasn't clear if he was mocking Wei Ming Dai or Zhang Hao. Alright, let's go back first. See you, Si Qin, follow me back to the north of the city. Wu Man said. Aren't we going to wait here? Si Yu asked. They still wanted to know if that old witch had discovered anything so that they could prepare in advance. If they left, wouldn't they not know? City Lord would spend 2 days to seal it and then rest for half a month. She's still injured now, so I'm afraid she'll need to rest even longer. So there's no point for us to stay here. Once City Lord recovers, she'll naturally call us over. Wu Man explained. I see. Then little sister, let's go back with Auntie Man. Si Yu held Sima Yue's hand and said. Wu Man opened up a space tunnel and brought Sima Yue and the rest in. After that, Meng Sha and the rest opened up their own space tunnels and returned to their own residences. When Sima Yue came out of the space tunnel, she knew why they had to use this in a city. The city was really too big. After they came out, the barrier protecting Mu Si also disappeared. Sima Yue was very grateful for Wu Man's actions. She saved Mu Si's frail body from the pain of being squeezed by the space tunnel. Mu Lianjie went missing to save her father. No matter if he was still alive or not, she decided to take care of Mu Si like her own little brother. So I just went out for a short while and I'm back. Si Yu sighed. You've already gone out to play and you don't even know how to return home. How can you say you just went out for a short while? I think you won't even remember what your home looks like after a while. The one who spoke was Si family's third brother who had just entered the courtyard. Third brother, how can I forget? Si Yu went up to hold third brother's hand and said, Where's father and the rest? Si family's third brother scratched her nose and doted on her. They're settling some matters with the elders in the study room. They're still talking about not knowing when you'll be back. Auntie Man is already at our house. What is father still discussing? Si Yu muttered. I heard that something big happened outside the city. Father didn't say what it was exactly. Si family's third brother said, Auntie Man, thank you for bringing little sister and the rest back. Sima Yue then knew that Wu Man had brought them back to the Si family. Wu Man nodded softly and asked, Where did it happen? It seems to be a place that leads to the ghost realm. Father said that he would discuss it with you when Auntie Man comes back. He still wants to discuss it with Auntie Man? Seems like something big really happened. Could it be related to what happened a few days ago? Si Yu asked curiously. Don't look at me like that. Whether it's related or not, you'll know when father comes out. Si family's third brother saw the look in his little sister's eyes and knew that she was thinking about him. Just as they were talking, Si Kong, who had sensed their return, suddenly appeared in the courtyard. He, who had always loved his daughter as much as his life, acted as if he didn't see Si Yu. He looked at Wu Man and said, Something happened. Chapter 1350. Wu Man's gaze darkened. Something that could make Si Kong so serious was definitely not a small matter. Si Yu rarely saw such an expression on her father's face. Even she didn't see it, so she asked curiously, Father, what happened? You're back too? Si Kong then saw his precious daughter. Since you're back, go and rest. I'll visit you after I've finished discussing with your Auntie Man. Wu Man, let's go to the study. Okay. Wu Man nodded and disappeared with Si Kong at the same time. They could even disappear without opening a spatial tunnel. Such strength made Sima Yue think of the people around Feng Ruyen. They also disappeared from where they stood. Siyu watched as they left just like that. She pouted and mumbled, "What exactly happened that father didn't even have time to talk to me?" Si family's third brother also put away his usual cheerful appearance and comforted his little sister. "Something big must have happened for father to be so anxious. Don't be angry with me." "I know." Siyu said, "I was just thinking that it must be something big for father to be so anxious. Why don't we go listen and see if we can help?" "That won't do." Third brother pulled her back and said, "Don't forget father's rules. You can go anywhere except his study. Without orders you can't go. Don't you have a guest? Why aren't you going to ask them to stay? Or do you want them to mess around with you?" Siyu looked at Sima Yue and the other two and sighed, saying, "All right, I'll bring little sis and the others to stay in my courtyard. The courtyard next to yours has been tidied up. Bring them there. It's close to your courtyard." Third brother Si said. "Okay. Little sister, let's go." Sima Yue didn't say anything since the beginning. She didn't know what happened to Si Kong and the rest, but her instincts told her that it should be related to Mi air being contracted. But she had just arrived and it wasn't good for her to ask too much, so she could only follow Siyu down. Siyu brought Sima Yue, Mu Si and Di Wu to the courtyard next to hers. In this place River Earl didn't need to follow her. Instead he was taken away by third brother for questioning. Regarding Sima Yu's situation, although the Si clan had supported her and helped her, they didn't know much about her situation. That was why they wanted him to understand her situation and find out who she was and what her motive was. "River Earl, come with me. Big brother and the others are waiting for you." "Yes, third young master." Si Hui brought He Bo to his own courtyard. Big brother Si Zhe and second brother Si Yi were waiting for them there. Seeing them come in, the two brothers stood up and clasped their hands towards River Earl. "River Earl." The young master of this family was actually bowing to River Earl. It was not hard to imagine how high his position was in this family. "Thank you for your hard work, River Earl," Si Zhe said gratefully. "Big young master, you are too polite." River Earl bowed back. "We have some questions for you. Please take a seat." River Earl sat down and so did Si Zhe and his brothers. "He Bo, what's the name of the girl my little sister brought back? How did they know each other? What's her identity?" Si asked. River Earl casually set up a spirit barrier to prevent people from eavesdropping. Then he said, "That girl is called Sima Yue. She is Sima Lu Xian's daughter." "Sima Lu Xian? How could she be his daughter?" "River Earl, are you sure?" Si Hui said in surprise. "It should be." River Earl said, "Her purpose of coming here is to save her father." "But her father? If people find out about her identity, I'm afraid that it will cause trouble." Si Yi frowned. Why did his little sister bring back such a troublesome person? "Young Miss likes her very much." River Earl said, "According to my observations these few days, she is indeed a young lady worthy of being friends with. To be able to get River Earl's praise, this person is indeed not bad." Si Zhe sighed. "Isn't that so, River Earl? You rarely praise someone. Tell us more about her so that we can have a better understanding of her." Si Yi said. "All right." On the other side, Siyu brought Sima Yue and the others to an exquisite courtyard. She said, "This courtyard was not used to entertain guests. But my father and the others probably guessed that I would want you to be closer to me. That's why they prepared this courtyard. If you think it's too small, we can change to another one." "Sure. The three of us are enough. This courtyard is very beautiful." Sima Yue smiled. "As long as you like it." Siyu saw that they did not seem to be faking it and was happy. "I don't really like servant girls, so there are fewer people around me. I'll ask Big Brother to send a few servant girls over." "No need. I don't have the habit of using servant girls," Sima Yue said. "But, since when do I have servant girls by my side? If you send someone over, I won't be used to it," Sima Yue said. "All right then. When the time comes, don't say that I'm neglecting you." "Why would I? Then I'll instruct the kitchen to prepare food for Musi every day. This way you won't have to cook for him every day," Siyu said. Sima Yue wanted to reject at first, but she remembered that she had things to do later and might not be back anytime. Musi really needed someone to take care of him here. "Then I'll have to trouble you. If I'm not around later on, I'll need you to take care of Musi." "No problem. With such a big Si family, having Musi wouldn't affect it at all." "Thank you." Musi bowed to her. "It's so rare for this fellow to take the initiative to speak to me," Siyu teased. Musi pursed his lips and didn't reply to her. Siyu, do you think that what your father and the others said just now has something to do with Mier? Sima Yue asked. You feel that way too? Siyu said in surprise, I also feel that it might have something to do with it. But father hasn't said anything, so we don't know. Seeing that Sima Yue was worried, she smiled and said, Anyway, you're only here to find your father. Anything else doesn't matter. I'm just afraid that it has something to do with father. Sima Yue said. If you're worried, wait for father and the others to come out and we'll ask them what's going on. Siyu comforted. All right. In Si Kong's study room, other than him and Wu Man, there were 2 other elders. These 2 looked very old and weren't ordinary elders. Wu Man was surprised to see the 2 of them. She nodded slightly at them and the 2 of them nodded back. What the hell is going on? You actually alerted the 2 elders, the cat said. Chapter 1351. It turned out that those 2 weren't elders, but clan elders whose status was even higher than elders. However, the clan elders were generally those with relatively high strength in the clan. Usually, they would be in secluded cultivation and would rarely interfere with the clan's affairs. Since he appeared in Sikong's study today, it meant that the matter was indeed quite serious. Man, the mine is in chaos. Sikong's words made Wu Man's heart jump. She asked, The mine is in chaos? What happened? Just when you went to pick up the city lord, I felt movement at the mine, so I brought people to take a look. In the end, I found that everyone in the mine was dead. They're all dead? What happened? I saw it. The situation in the mine is chaotic. Sikong said, and according to the news we received, it's not just our mine. Other families are also having problems. Is the situation all wrong? The other families have sealed the news, but the problem that appeared around the same time as us, I think it should be around the same time. So I want to ask, did something happen in the forbidden area? Wu Man thought for a moment and said, Nothing special. During those few days, only Yue and the others were there. Perhaps they know what happened. Then we can only call them over and ask them. Men, go and invite the young miss and her friend over. Yes, Patriarch. The guard at the door responded and left. Sima Yue and the rest had just settled down and were preparing to walk around Siyu's courtyard when they saw the guards walking over. Miss, the Patriarch invites you and the guest to the study room. Father wants me to go to the study room? Siyu was a little surprised and exchanged glances with Sima Yue. He had just said that something big had happened, and now he wanted them to go to the study. Could it be that this matter had something to do with them? Yes, Mississippi, I got it. Go back and tell father that we'll be there immediately. Siyu instructed. Yes, Mississippi. After the guards left, the 2 of them looked worried. It's fine if father is looking for me, but now he's looking for you. Could it be that this matter has something to do with you? Could it be because you contracted Mier? I think it's highly possible. Sima Yue said, otherwise he wouldn't have asked me to go. I'm just afraid that the contract might have caused some trouble. I didn't see anything strange during the contract. What does it have to do with other places if you made a contract with something from the Forbidden Grounds? Siyu said. Although we didn't see it, it doesn't mean that it didn't exist. Let's go and meet your father. We'll know what's going on. Sima Yue said. Yes, that's the only way. Siyu brought Sima Yue to the study room. When the guard saw them, he opened the door and said, Master said to let you in directly. Sima Yue and Siyu went in together and saw Wu Man and Si Kong sitting on the main seats while the other 2 elders sat on the lower seats. Siyu was shocked when she saw the 2 elders and guessed that this was not a small matter. Father, Ant-Man and the 2 elders. Sima Yue did not expect the 2 of them to be the elders of the tribe. If even the elders of the tribe were here, this matter must be no small matter. Greetings, Master Si and Steward. She bowed to the 2 people on the main seats. Because she was not a member of the Si family, she did not bow to the 2 elders. I called you here today because I have something to ask you. Father, please speak. Siyu maintained a calm expression. Did anything out of the ordinary happen when you were guarding the Forbidden Grounds? Si Kong asked. Something unusual? Siyu's heart skipped a beat, but she did not show any reaction on her face. She frowned slightly and said, Did something happen in the Forbidden Grounds? Si Kong saw his daughter's expression and understood. He sighed and said, if something happened in the Forbidden Grounds you must tell us. Because the family has met with a big problem recently. Did something happen in the family? Is it related to the Forbidden Grounds? Siyu asked. Do you know where the family's mine is? Si Kong asked. Siyu nodded. third brother brought me there before. Did something happen in the mine? That's right. 3 days ago, for some unknown reason, the situation in the mountains became chaotic. Some of the mines directly collapsed and all the miners in the mines died. Si Kong said, the mine is related to the family's life. Now you know how serious this matter is, right? No matter if it was in the outside world or here, the mine was related to the development of the family's power. If the mine was gone, it could be said that the family could only walk towards extinction. No wonder Si Kong was so anxious. It was indeed a matter of life and death. Since it was a matter of the family's survival, Siyu did not dare to hide anything. She looked at Sima Yue apologetically, but she saw her smiling at her. That meant that it was okay, just say it. What, did something really happen? That, it was little sister. She made a contract with that thing in the pond. Siyu said, that fellow said that contracting it would not cause any trouble, so, contracted. Everyone else in the room cried out in surprise. That thing was so powerful and scary. It was obvious to all. They didn't expect her to be able to contract with it. But I didn't feel that the thing in the pond had a contract with it. I didn't notice anything strange. Wu Man said. The thing in the pond was Mi Er's clone. It said that as long as it broke off from the clone, it would not be noticed. Siyu explained. So you're saying that this matter was caused by that thing in the pond being contracted? Si Kong frowned. Father, Mi Er said that contracting it would not cause any trouble. That's why Yue made a contract with it. Siyu explained, and Mi Er is quite pitiful. Ever since it had intelligence, it had been suppressed in the forbidden area by the city lords for them to cultivate. It was because of this that it wanted to come out. Let's not talk about whether it's pitiful or not. It had intelligence from the power. Do you know that this fellow has been connected to all the powers in the mines in this space for so many years? Once it was contracted, all the powers would be affected. Wu Man said. How are those powers related to Mi Er? Siyu didn't understand. Because it's equivalent to the king in there. Those powers will be affected by it. Also, they are connected underground. Isn't Mi Er in the pond? That's not a pond. Si Kong said, you won't understand even if I talk about this now. He looked at Sima Yue. He still didn't know her name. Si family head, I'm Sima Yue. What? The 3 Si family members were shocked when they heard her name. The way they looked at her changed. Wu Man thought of something and her gaze dimmed. Chapter 1352. Sima Yue. You're that person's daughter? Si Kong looked at Wu Man with a complicated expression. Wu Man blinked and put away all of her emotions, saying, let's talk about the matter at hand now. That's right, let's settle the matter in front of us first. Si Kong said, little friend Yue, can you let us see that contracted beast of yours? Sima Yue agreed. With a thought, a miniature version of her appeared in front of everyone. This is what she looks like. No, she changed her appearance for me. Sima Yue said. She doesn't have a shape, does she? One of the elders said, force is a natural force, so it doesn't have a specific shape. Yes. Sima Yue didn't hide anything. Siyu and Hebo were both there at that time, so they knew the answer immediately. If the current situation was really caused by it, then it might be able to turn for the better. Wu Man said. It's possible. Siyu looked at Mi Er, why don't you try that? Sima Yue saw that their attention had shifted to Mi Er and completely ignored her. She said, actually, if the force is messed up, it will be fine if it is cleared up again. That's right. Siyu slapped her head, scaring the others. Or what's wrong? Little sister. Little sister. Siyu pulled Sima Yue's hand. If Mi Er is useless, you can let little sister do it. Everyone was stunned for a moment before they reacted and asked Sima Yue, are you a seeker spirit master? Yes. Sima Yue admitted. Yes, he is a seeker spirit master. It is not strange that you are a seeker spirit master as well. Wu Man muttered. However, the situation is completely chaotic. Can you guide them? Si Kong knew about the situation in the mine. He did not believe that Sima Yue could do it. After all, she still looked too young. Even if she had received the inheritance of her family, she might not have studied it thoroughly. She couldn't be as monstrous as her father, right? Her father? Thinking of Sima Lu Xian, he sighed in his heart. How the world made fools of people. I can't guarantee it now. I have to go and see the situation first. Sima Yue said. Then let's go and take a look. Si Kong said, the seeker spirit master in the family has been there for 3 days. They haven't found a solution yet, so you have to be mentally prepared. Kong appreciated Sima Yu's attitude. She didn't directly say whether she could or couldn't. She didn't boast nor was she too modest. Sima Yue also had a good impression of Sima Yue she not. And on Yue's the Yue Lu Yue's face. Eyes of Yue of course Yue's use her Yue, is go. Of time. Yue, of Yue of course. Kong's words of rejection were stuck in his throat. Then you can't run around. It's very dangerous there. You have to stay by the elder's side. I won't run around. See, you promised. Then let's go over now. The two elders stood up together as if they had a telepathic connection. Kong and Wu Man also stood up. They opened a space tunnel and brought Siyu and Sima Yue in. When they came out of the space tunnel, they were already on top of a mountain range. This mountain range was different from the ones in the past. Every mountain was incomplete. Some were broken in half, some had many holes, and some had turned into a pile of rocks. In the pile of rocks, there were blood stains that had just dried not long ago. It should be from those who were absent from work. Sima Yue noticed that there was a barrier outside the mountain, preventing the power from running out. Judging from the impact of the barrier, the power in the mountain was restless. Seeing that Sima Yue noticed the barrier, Kong explained, this was set up by the elders immediately after the incident. The elders reacted quickly. Sima Yue said, the power in the mountain did not dissipate much, so it did not affect the mine much. However, there is no way to mine like this. After a long time, the mine will be destroyed. Every vein would be accompanied by a formation of potential when the ore was formed. The power in every mine had its own path of activity. What a spirit seeker had to do was to figure out the path of the power so that the absent workers could avoid those places. This was commonly known as the opening of power. If the opening of power was not done well, it would either release all the power, which would affect the level of the mine, or cause the power to be chaotic and destroy everything in the mine. Also, if the absent workers could not figure out the direction of the power and did not avoid it when they were mining, they would activate the power. In the end, the absent workers would die together. Therefore, no matter what, it was something that humans did not want to see. Therefore, the power was very important. Generally speaking, the power in the mine was more stable. If there was no big movement, they would not be in such a mess. Kong saw that her analysis of the current situation was very accurate. He believed that she had some understanding of the spirit seeker. Not far from where they came out, there was a group of people analyzing the situation below. When they saw them coming, they hurriedly went forward to greet them. Greetings to the steward, master, and elders. Kong waved his hand and asked them to rise. He asked, how is the situation now? Master, the power in the mine is still in an uncontrollable state. We are useless. Not only did we not guide them back to their original position, we almost let them break the spirit barrier. One of the white-bearded elders said guiltily. Elder Yin, you don't have to blame yourself. This is sudden and we have never encountered this before. It is reasonable that we did not think of a solution. I just hope that everyone can find a solution soon. This matter will only get more troublesome as time passes. Kong said. We will do our best. Elder Yen said. Yue, these are the spirit seeker of the family. Kong introduced. If you have any suggestions or opinions, you can tell them. Kong said it very tactfully. He had to give some face to the elders of the family. If Sima Yue could not think of anything, it would not be embarrassing for her to say it like this. Okay. Sima Yue nodded. Master, this is? Elder Yin saw that Kong was so polite to Sima Yue and was curious about her identity. Yue is also a spirit seeker. There are very powerful elders in the family in this area. Therefore, I asked her to come over and see if she can think of a solution. Kong explained. Chapter 1353. Kong explained why he wanted to bring Sima Yue here, and old Master Yen and the rest did not take a good look at her. Really? Since that's the case, if little friend has any ideas, please don't hesitate to enlighten us. Elder Yen said. Elder Yen, you're exaggerating. If I can think of anything, I'll definitely tell you. Sima Yue said. Regardless of whether he was sincere or pretending to be polite when he said those words, it was already very rare that he didn't look down on her. Little sister, let's go take a look at the situation. Siyu said. She didn't expect the family's mind to become like this. She was a little worried. If it wasn't handled well, wouldn't the family be doomed? Sima Yue could tell that she was worried. Thinking that this was caused by her contract, she felt a little guilty. I'll go take a look. After saying that, she flew to the top of the mine and circled around. She even landed on the barrier to check. Patriarch, can she really do it? Elder Yin waited for Sima Yuyu to leave before asking the question in his heart. Sikong didn't have confidence in her either. Let's just give it a try. What if she can think of something? The situation in the mine is completely messed up. Even Elder Yin can't sort it out. How can a little girl like her figure it out? A middle-aged man behind Elder Yin said. I really don't have a way right now. If someone can do it, it would be even better for the clan. Elder Yin said. Elder Yin is indeed wise, the person behind him praised. Elder Yin didn't have much of a reaction to their flattery. Instead, he said worriedly and expectantly, I don't know if she'll be able to think of a way. It would be great if there was one. That's right, Patriarch. Did the other clans also encounter the same thing? Did you get any news? Something did happen to the other clans, but they sealed off the news, so we don't know the specifics. We don't know if it's the same as us. But according to some of the clues we have, it should be about the same. Why did all the mines suddenly have this problem? Did something happen? Elder Yin immediately grasped the root of the problem. Si Kong glanced at Sima Yue from afar and said, We'll have to investigate further before we know the exact reason. The most important thing now is to restore the mine. Father, can little sister do it? Siyu was a little worried. Although she felt that Sima Yue shouldn't be a problem, there were so many Seeker Spirit Masters at home who couldn't do anything. It wasn't enough to just believe. It shouldn't be a problem. After all, she is his child. Wu Man muttered. Sima Yue spent 2 hours investigating. She only flew back when she had a good understanding of the situation. How is little sister? Do you have a way? Siyu asked impatiently. I'm almost done with the situation. It's much more serious than I thought, but there's still a solution, Sima Yue replied. So you have a solution? I'm not very sure, but I have a friend. If he's here, there should be no problem. Sima Yue did not give a definite answer. Where is he? Hurry up and invite him over. Hearing that there was a way, everyone became excited. He came to Ghost City with me, but due to the special circumstances, I asked him to hide first. Then we'll send someone to look for him immediately. My friend's hiding place is rather secretive. If I don't go, he won't come out. Sima Yue continued, so I'll have to trouble you to send me back. I see. Although Si Kong and the rest were suspicious, it wasn't the time to get to the bottom of it. Since she said so, they would just do as she said. I'll send you back. Si Kong opened a space tunnel after speaking and brought her back. After returning, Sima Yue left alone. She wanted to find a secluded place and release Third Mo from the little realm. Si Kong wanted to send someone to follow her, but she rejected him. If people found out about the existence of the little realm, there would be more trouble. Si Kong knew that it was inconvenient for her, so he could only agree. However, he didn't notice that after Sima Yue left the Si family, 2 people secretly followed her. Sima Yue walked towards a secluded place, and the 2 people who were following her were secretly happy. They were thinking of how to lure her to a secluded place, but they didn't expect that she would follow their wishes without doing anything. Not long after Sima Yue left the Si family, she realized that she was being followed. There was only one possibility for someone to follow her. Her lips curled into a slight smile. Since they wanted to play with her, she would play with them. The 2 people followed Sima Yue to a secluded place, and they realized that the more secluded the place was, the faster she walked. They were afraid that she would find out, so they didn't chase too closely. Why did this girl come to such a secluded place? Could it be that she found out about us? Both of us are half-step monarch rank, and that girl just entered the monarch rank. How could she find out about us? That's true. No matter what she's doing here, it's convenient for us to do what we want. We have to catch her without alerting the Si family. Previously, we were worried that Miss Si would be with her. I didn't expect her to come out by herself. As she's gone. As they spoke, they chased Sima Yue into a small alley. After a few turns, they suddenly realized that she was gone. She must be nearby. Let's search. This was a rare opportunity, so they had to grab hold of it and bring her back to report. Are you looking for me? Sima Yue's voice came from above them. The 2 of them looked up and saw Sima Yue sitting on the high wall, smiling at them. Although she was smiling, the 2 of them felt a chill run down their spine. She was so close to them, but they didn't sense her aura. What did this mean? You don't have to look like you saw a ghost, right? Sima Yue touched her face. She should still be pretty. Why are you here? Of course I'm here to wait for you. Sima Yue said, Both of you have been following me for so long. How can I let you continue to be tired? So I waited here and asked what you wanted to do. The two of them were shocked. She had already discovered them? When did it start? With her abilities, how could she have discovered them? However, no matter how shocked they were, they had been through a lot and quickly calmed down. Since you already know, then there's no need for us to say anything more. Are you coming with us obediently, or will we beat you up and bring you back? Sima Yue smiled and said, You're from the Zhang family, right? I don't intend to go with you. Since you're here, then stay and talk. How does the Zhang family plan to deal with me? Chapter 1354. When the two of them saw that Sima Yu had guessed their identities, they didn't deny it. Instead, they pointed at her and said, You killed our young master. You even killed the young miss of the Meng clan and the guards of the Pang clan. You've captured the young master of the Pang clan. Green Light residents. Who said that I killed those people? Do you have evidence? Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. We have witnesses. Witnesses? Yes. Yangzi said that he heard you and Musi admit it with his own ears. So you should be obedient and be captured. Hearing Yangzi's name, Sima Yue did not find it strange. Ever since she came here, the only people she had interacted with were Zhang Peng and Yangzi. Yangzi was originally good to Musi because of the treasure map left behind by Mu Yanjia. Now that he saw her taking Musi away, it would be strange if he was not anxious. He probably saw that she and Zhang family were not on good terms because of Mi-Er, so he ran over to slander her. Oh, actually it was not slander, but to them it was more or less the same. Zhang family was looking for an excuse to kill her and he happened to find it. To Zhang family, wasn't this like someone giving them a pillow when they were sleepy? So they immediately sent people to capture her. They even sent 2 half-paragons to capture her. For someone who had just entered the monarch level, this was already considered a big deal. It was probably because this was the north of the city that they did this. Unfortunately, even with 2 people it was still not enough. Mi-Er, I'll leave these 2 to you. Sima Yue said. The 2 of them heard her words and did not know who Mi-Er was, but they saw black smoke coming out from her hand. The black smoke spread very quickly and soon half of the alley was filled with it. This is... When the 2 of them saw Mi-Er, their blood started to flow backward and their bodies turned cold. They saw what happened a few days ago. They had seen Mi-Er before, but they did not expect it to become her contracted beast. Zhang, whose strength was stronger than the 2 of them, but they could not resist in front of it. Then they, Mi-Er, hurry up. We'll be in trouble if we're discovered. Sima Yue urged. Right now that old witch was still in the city. If he was discovered, it would be difficult for him to escape. Mi-Er also understood that within 2 breaths of time, a person was shrouded in the black fog and then slowly shrunk. When it returned to Sima Yue, there were only 2 skeletons left on the ground. TSK, you're quite efficient. Sima Yue praised. Of course. Mi-Er said proudly, these things are just a piece of cake to me. No matter how powerful they are, I can easily deal with them. If not. Mi-Er stopped talking, but Sima Yue knew what he meant. If she hadn't forced it to form a contract with her, it would have gone out to live a carefree life. Even if it wasn't number 1 in the world, it could at least sweep the world. However, all her beautiful dreams were shattered in the end. It didn't manage to conquer the world and only became her contract beast. She didn't care about its thoughts and released a few scarlet bees to guard nearby. Then she opened her little realm and walked in. Once she entered, she was immediately surrounded. Sister Yue, you're finally in. Are you alright outside? Little Helper was the first to speak. Huang Yingying hugged her and scolded, You child, why don't you let us out after bringing us in? Do you know how worried Grandma is about you? Yes. Sister Yue, let us go out together. You're really messing around? Sima Xiu's face was sullen but his eyes were filled with concern. Alright Grandma, I can't breathe if you hug me like this. Sima Yue patted Huang Yingying's back and said coquettishly. What did you call me just now? Huang Yingying let go of her with a face of surprise. Grandma. Sima Yue didn't know what happened to Huang Yingying. Aha, Grandma. Xiu, did you hear that? She called me Grandma. Huang Yingying said excitedly. I heard it. Don't be so excited like a child. Sima Xiu said. What's wrong? Sima Yue looked at the 2 of them confusedly. Child, no one used to call us Grandma. You don't know how much I want someone to call me Grandma. Huang Yingying hugged her and said excitedly. Sima Yue looked at her. She didn't expect that the way she called her Grandma would make her so happy. Since Grandma likes it so much, I'll call you Grandma from now on. Okay. Huang Yingying smiled happily. It made people think that she encountered something happy. And Grandpa. Sima Xiao added. Okay, Grandpa. Sima Yue also called him. She looked around and didn't see Wu Lingyu's figure in the crowd. Where's Lingyu? Did he fall into a deep sleep? Yes, he just fell into a deep sleep 2 days ago, Huang Yingying said. I'll go and see him. Sima Yue sensed Wu Lingyu's location and walked away eagerly. Huang Yingying looked at her back and shook her head helplessly. A grown girl can't be kept at home. They love each other. It's normal for her to be worried. Little Helper said with a smile. Sima Yue came to Wu Lingyu's room and saw him sleeping on the bed. She reached out and touched his handsome face. Then she moved her hand down to his wrist and took his pulse. You're clearly not in good health, but you still followed me here. What should I say about you? She leaned over and planted a kiss on his lips. Then she saw his fan-like eyelashes flutter open. You stole a kiss from me. His voice was a little hoarse after sleeping for 2 days, but it had a fatal temptation. He reached out and hugged her body, not letting her get up. Sima Yue didn't expect him to wake up at this time and be caught red-handed in front of everyone. However, she wasn't shy. She laid on top of him and said, Why did you wake up so quickly this time? Yeah, it's not time to sleep yet. I'm conserving my energy now. When you really need it, I'll be able to help. Wu Lingyu said, How is it? Seeing how good I am, are you going to reward me? You're already in bad health and yet you still followed me. You're lucky that I didn't punish you. How dare you ask me for a reward? Sima Yue pinched his nose. Alright, since you're not willing to give it to me, I'll just have to ask for it myself. After Wu Lingyu finished speaking, he flipped over and switched their positions. Now she was at the bottom and he was on top. Without waiting for her to speak, he kissed her deeply. He wanted to steal her sweetness and tell her how much he missed her. Sima Yue reciprocated his feelings. She missed him too. She missed his kiss and she missed his taste. After a long time the two separated. Both of their faces were a little red from the kiss and their breaths were a little hurried. You're such a torturous vixen. He kissed her face again before asking, Why did you come in at this time? Under the Eaves revision notice. Under the Eaves will be revamped into a sub-column Under the Eaves. The front page of Under the Eaves will be revamped on 6/15. From 6/15 onwards read, The revamped front page, navigation bar, a long story. The address of the front page of the board will be changed to Chapter 1355. The online book cafe guaranteed that there would be no pop-up windows forever. Sima Yue let Wu Lingyu lie down while she leaned into his embrace and rested her head on his shoulder, saying, Something happened outside, so I came in to ask Shameless Third for help. Is there anything he can help with? Wu Lingyu's hand, which was wrapped around her neck, pinched her face instead, indicating that he was unhappy. There's a problem with the mine. Sima Yue explained the situation. So I want Shameless Third to go out and help. Wu Lingyu was unhappy. He was good in other aspects, but he wasn't good at finding spirits. Otherwise, he wouldn't have asked her to ask Third Mo for help. Don't worry, if anything happens, I'll definitely ask you to come out and help. Sima Yue said. I'll go out with you. Wu Lingyu requested. Why do you want to go out? Sima Yue looked up at him. Your body isn't stable now, it's too dangerous to go out. I'll be able to hold on until we save father-in-law. Wu Lingyu said. Sima Yue wanted to reject him, but she thought that this guy was actually worried about her safety. Although his condition wasn't stable, it was fine as long as she didn't let him do anything. Alright then, but you have to promise me that you won't do anything when you go out. Otherwise I'll throw you in. She threatened. Okay. The two of them stayed in the house for a while, then went to find Third Mo and the rest. Third Mo heard about the situation outside and agreed to go out and help. Huang Yingying also wanted to go out, but was rejected by Sima Yue because there were too many people and they would be a big target. Now that they hadn't found her father's whereabouts, it was useless for them to go out. Instead, they would attract attention because of their aura. Huang Yingying couldn't persuade Sima Yue, so she could only agree. However, she also agreed that once they found her father's whereabouts, they would go and save him together. Sima Yue and her scarlet bees sensed for a while, and after confirming that there was no one in the alley, she opened her little realm and went out. She recalled the scarlet bees and brought Third Mo and Wu Lingyu back to the sea residence. Before coming out, Wu Lingyu had changed his aura to that of darkness. Mo-san had used some sort of treasure to change his aura to that of darkness. The three of them arrived at the sea residence. When the guard saw her return, he secretly thought that her speed was quite fast. Could it be that those people were hiding nearby? However, she didn't dare to voice her suspicions. Instead, she bowed towards them and said, "Young Miss Patriarch said that you've returned. Go directly to the study to find him." Study? Sima Yue recalled that she had entered the study room from the backyard, but she did not know how to enter the main entrance. She looked at the guard and said, "How do I get to the study?" "I can't find the way. Can you show me the way?" "Yes, Mississippi. Please come with me." "Sorry to trouble you." When the guard brought Sima Yu to the study, Si Kong was talking to two black-robed men. He felt that Sima Yu had come. It just so happened that he knew about the things here. He waved his hand to let the two of them go out. Sima Yue happened to pass by the two men at the door. "Yue, these two are the friends you were talking about?" Si Kong stood up from his seat and cupped his hands towards Third Mo and Wu Lingyu. "Yes." Sima Yue said, "This is Third Mo. He's much better than me when it comes to searching for spirits. This is my senior brother Wu Lingyu. Since they're already here, let's hurry over." Si Kong said anxiously. "What's wrong? Did something happen over there?" Sima Yue noticed that he was even more anxious than before and asked. "The situation over there is still fine. It's the other clans." Si Kong said, "I just received news that the other clans are also in the same situation as us. However, some of them aren't very powerful. For example, the Zhang clan. If they know that our situation is so serious, I'm afraid they'll change." When Sima Yue heard that the Zhang clan wasn't affected much, she had an idea. However, before that, she had to settle the situation over here. "Let's go over then," she said to Si Kong. Si Kong opened the space tunnel and brought them in. Wu Man, Elder Yen and the rest didn't expect Sima Yue and the rest to arrive so quickly. When they saw them, they were surprised. "This is the place," Si Kong said to Third Mo. "Shameless Third, let me bring you to take a look at the situation." Sima Yue said, "I've already marked out a few points." "All right." She marked out the areas that needed more attention and where the situation was better. This way it would be easier for him to check. Wu Lingyu followed the two of them. Although he wasn't very familiar with this place, he didn't know these people. Naturally, he had to follow Yue. "Master, are the people Yue found reliable?" "I hope they're reliable." Si Kong's expression was very serious. "What's wrong?" Wu Man knew that something had happened when she saw his expression. "I just received news that the other clans are in the same situation. However, the Zhang clan isn't affected much. If we don't restore the mine, I'm afraid that the Zhang clan will take this chance to attack us." Si Kong said. "Now that we're focusing all our energy on this place, if the Zhang clan attacks us now, it might affect us." Elder Yen said. "The city lord is back now. That Zhang Hao doesn't dare to do anything now." Wu Man said, "However, when the city lord leaves, Zhang Hao will probably do something. He's already ready to do something now." "The city lord will still leave? If I'm not wrong, she'll leave after she recovers," Wu Man said. "Or go there?" "Yes." Speaking of this, Wu Man didn't say anything else. She looked at Sima Yue and Third Mo. With Sima Yue's lead, Third Mo's investigation time was indeed shorter. After they understood the situation, they returned. "Yue, Master Mo, how is it?" "The tracks of the influence here are almost completely destroyed. It won't be easy to restore them," Third Mo said. "So there's a way?" "Yes, but it's a little troublesome. And we need a lot of people to do it." Hearing that there was a way, everyone heaved a sigh of relief. "I wonder what method Master Mo has?" Elder Yen cupped his hands towards Third Mo and asked. "This is Elder Yen, right? I heard from Yue that you're a seeker spirit master." Third Mo returned the greeting. "I'm not familiar with the people here. I'll tell you the method in a while. So I'll need Elder Yen to do the details." "Tell me?" Elder Yen was a little surprised. Most people would hide these things like treasures. Why would he tell him? "Of course. After I tell you this method, I'll need Elder Yen to see if it works. And I think that the people in your clan will naturally listen to you," Third Mo said. Sima Yue heard his bureaucratic words. Actually, she knew that Third Mo couldn't do anything. If he did, his identity as a dark spirit master would be exposed. The only official website of the online book bar. Everything else is fake. Chapter 1356. However, only she and Third Master Mo knew the real reason. They didn't plan to tell anyone, so the C family praised his selfless actions. Copy URL access. Elder Yen, I'll tell you the method first, then we can discuss it. If it's feasible, we can start organizing people. Third Mo said with a serious face, as if he was really a serious person. Even Sima Yue was almost fooled by him. She pursed her lips at him when no one was looking. You really know how to act. Third Mo raised his eyebrows at her. I can be serious too. Sima Yue rolled her eyes at him, but this guy really had a bit of style when he was pretending. Elder Yen and the others behind her couldn't see her strange movements. Hearing Third Mo's words, they said excitedly, Good, good, good. Please enlighten me, Master Mo. Let's talk upstairs. Third Mo said. Please. The group of people flew to the top of the mine. Third Mo and Elder Yen were in front. Every time they stopped at a place, Third Mo would tell them what to do. At first, the others didn't understand what he meant, but after he connected all the dots into a line, everyone looked like they suddenly understood. So that's how it is. Everyone, let's force them back. Then we won't need anyone at their original place. That way they can return to their original position. Elder Yen clapped his hands and said excitedly. That's exactly what I meant. Third Mo cupped his hands towards Elder Yen and said, Then I'll leave the rest to Elder Yen. Master Mo, you're being too serious. This is the C family's matter. I'll immediately report to the Patriarch and send someone to try it out. All right. Old Master Yen left excitedly with his men. Sima Yue and Third Mo did not need to do the rest. They only needed to watch from the side. After everyone left, Sima Yue looked at Third Mo and teased, I couldn't tell that you could be serious. When have I been indecent? Since when are you serious? Sima Yue rolled her eyes at him. Little sister, will this method work? Siyu snuck a glance at Third Mo. Her gaze was different from usual. It shouldn't be a problem. Sima Yue said, I've thought of this before, but I don't know where to go in and where to go back, as well as Rascal 3. That's why I asked her for help. Is that so? Siyu smiled and didn't continue asking, but her eyes would occasionally glance at Third Mo. Elder Yen went to talk to Si Kong. Soon the family brought over the people they wanted. Sima Yue did a rough calculation. There were about 1,000 people, and they were all above the monarch level. To be able to casually gather so many experts, the C family's strength was indeed not to be underestimated. Third Mo helped Elder Yen arrange the manpower while Sima Yue and Wu Ling retreated to the side to watch. She realized that not only did the C family go on stage, even Wu Man went on stage. Because Siyu wasn't strong enough, she was shunned to the side. Siyu, is Auntie Man on good terms with you guys? Sima Yue asked. Yeah. Auntie Man and my father grew up together. Siyu continued, Auntie Man is an orphan and doesn't have a family, so our family is also considered her family. So that's why. No wonder Si Kong immediately went to find Wu Man to discuss this matter. Speaking of which, why is the Zhang family the least affected? From what I know, the Zhang family's mine is the closest to the forbidden area, so they should be the most affected. Siyu didn't understand. Even me heir doesn't know why the mine will be affected, let alone us. Sima Yue continued, I hope the matter here can be settled quickly so I can go find my father. After this matter is settled, I'll bring you to find Auntie Man, Siyu replied. Alright, thank you. Sima Yue said gratefully. Alright, there's no need to say this between us. Siyu stretched out her hand and held her shoulder. Little sister, I have a question to ask you. Go ahead. That? Are you on good terms with Third Mo? Siyu looked hesitant, which attracted Sima Yue's attention. Don't tell me you've fallen for him? Sima Yue was shocked. After knowing her for so many days, she had never seen her shy. Not really. Siyu denied, I just have a good impression of him, just a little. Sima Yue didn't expect Siyu to have feelings for Third Mo after just meeting him for the first time. Was this the legendary love at first sight? I've known Rascal San for a long time. Sima Yue continued, he's a wanton person with a weird temper. When he's outside, people respect and fear him. He's a good friend, but I'm not sure if he's suitable for a relationship. Only the person involved knows. What does he usually like? His likes, he used to like drinking, but after he got drunk, he doesn't even drink anymore. As for his hobbies now, I don't really know much since we're not together. Sima Yue actually didn't think that Siyu would really fall for Third Mo, so she didn't take it to heart. Siyu still wanted to ask her about Third Mo, but when she saw Wu Lingyu on the other side, she felt embarrassed and decided to wait until it was just the two of them. Moreover, the C family members were all in position. Under Elder Yan's arrangement, they cooperated and injected their spiritual energy into the enchantment, trying to force the force back. Her attention was also drawn to that side. How long will this take? It was rare for Wu Lingyu to ask a question. It depends on the situation. If it's fast, it'll take 3 to 5 days. If it's slow, it'll take around 10 days. It'll depend on Rascal San and Elder Yan's cooperation, Sima Yue said. She saw that the situation was complicated, but with Third Mo around, everything was still in order. Just as she expected, after 3 days, the situation in the mine gradually stabilized. After 5 days, the mine was completely stable. That's it? Siyu asked uncertainly. The force has been restored, but the damage from before can't be restored, Sima Yue said. It's already not bad to be able to do this. Third Mo is so amazing. Siyu looked at Third Mo with a burning gaze. These few days, when she saw him and Elder Yan commanding those people, their serious expressions were so handsome. Once they finished, everyone felt very tired. Sikong left some people behind to handle the remaining matters and brought the rest back. As long as the mine returned to normal, absenteeism was a small matter. When they returned to the C family, the others went to rest while the main members went to the study room. Sima Yue saw that Wu Man was planning to leave and pulled on Siyu's clothes. Don't worry, I'll bring you to find her tonight, Siyu said. Sima Yue thought that Wu Man must be tired these few days, so she nodded in agreement. Chapter 1357. That night, Sikong held a banquet to thank Sima Yue and Third Mo for not being able to find Wu Man. He thought that Wu Man would attend, but Sikong said that Wu Man was too tired and had a lot of government affairs to deal with, so she didn't come. That night, they drank more than usual and only left when the sun rose. Third Mo drank more because many people came to toast him. When the banquet ended, he was already drunk. Wu Lingyu supported him and brought him to the courtyard where Sima Yue and the others lived. He randomly found a room and threw him into it. How violent. Sima Yue leaned against the door with her arms crossed in front of her chest. She chuckled when she saw him throw her onto the bed. It's good enough that you didn't throw it on the ground. Wu Lingyu didn't like to interact with other people. If he wasn't Yue's friend and if it wasn't for the fact that she would help him if he didn't do it, he wouldn't have helped him. Siyu came out from behind Sima Yue and looked at the two men in the room. She asked, Is Third Mo okay? He's fine. He's just drunk. I gave him some pills to sober him up. He'll be fine after a good night's sleep, Sima Yue said. Siyu looked at the person on the bed. This was the first time she was worried about someone drunk. How are you? Sima Yue asked her. What? Siyu came back to her senses and remembered that she was asking about her current situation. She replied, Of course I'm fine. I drank your fruit wine, it's not like I'm drunk. If you don't have any questions, let's go find Manager Wu Man, Sima Yue said. Alright, I know you're anxious. Let's go to Ant-Man's residence now. Siyu said, But is it really okay to leave Third Mo here? It's alright, I'll let Di Wu and Musi take care of it later. Sima Yue said, Moreover, this is your house, are you still worried? You're right. Let's go then. Siyu smiled and ignored Sima Yue's teasing. Wu Man's residence wasn't far from C residence. They arrived after walking for an hour. When the guard saw Siyu, he bowed to her and let them in without needing to report. Not long after the three of them entered the mansion, they saw a person dressed like a scholar walking towards them. When he saw them, he stepped forward and bowed, saying, Miss Yu, why have you come? I'm here to look for Auntie Man. Is she around? She's resting. But she said if you bring a girl here you can go find her. She's in her room. Did he know that she and Sima Yu would come? I got it. I'll go with my little sister. You can go ahead. Go to Yue, go to your to go. You see you brought Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu to Wu Man's courtyard. She had been here countless times and was familiar with the place. She originally felt that it wasn't good for a man to go to Wu Man's courtyard and wanted to let Wu Lingyu wait outside. But looking at his attitude, he probably didn't want to. There were two maids guarding Wu Man's courtyard. When they saw them, they said, Men are not allowed to enter. Lingyu, why don't you wait for me outside for a while? Sima Yue said to Wu Lingyu, We should be out soon. All right. Siyu didn't expect Wu Lingyu to agree so easily. Previously he followed Sima Yue like a shadow. He only followed her to the toilet. Young master, please come to the living room for tea. A maid said. No need, I'll wait here. Wu Lingyu said. He's still following her. Siyu thought to herself. She knew it, how could he follow her? It was only because he listened to Sima Yue's words and this was a female's courtyard. If not, he would definitely follow her in. Miss Yu, please follow me. The servant girl led the two of them into the courtyard. The moment Sima Yu entered, she realized that Wu Man really liked red. The flowers in the courtyard were red, the house was dark red, even the decoration in the room was mainly red. The maid brought them to the living room in the courtyard and said, "Please wait here, master will be here soon." She left after saying that. Not long after she left, Wu Man walked in. Siyu and Sima Yue quickly stood up. "Aunt Man, Steward Wu." Wu Man sat on the main seat and said, "I've already told you when we were in the forbidden area. You can call me Aunt Man like you are." "Yes, Aunt Man," Sima Yue replied. "Aunt Man, we're here today to look for you." Siyu said. "I expected it." Wu Man sighed. That day he told me that he wanted to find the child's mother. I didn't expect that after so many years, I would see his child with my own eyes. "You mean, my father?" Sima Yue asked. "Yes, your father, Sima Luxian." Wu Man fanned herself from time to time. "When I heard your name, I guessed that you must be looking for your father." "Then Aunt Man, can you tell me where my father is?" Sima Yue asked urgently. "I do know where your father is, but I can't tell you." "Why?" Sima Yue didn't understand. She could tell that Wu Man had feelings when she mentioned her father. Why didn't she want her to save her father? "That place is too dangerous. If I tell you, you'll definitely save him regardless of the danger. If you go there, there's no chance of survival. Even if I tell you, it's useless," Wu Man said. "But I'm here to save my father. No matter how dangerous it is, I have to go. I will save my father." Sima Yue said resolutely, "Aunt Man, please tell me where my father is. I've been to the place where your father is." Wu Man didn't answer her request. Instead she recalled the past. "I saw him. He used his own way to resist. I said that I would save him, but he wasn't willing. He said that he didn't want to burden me, so he asked me to promise him one thing." "Aunt Man, what did you promise him?" Siyu asked. "He said that one day someone will find this place. Maybe it's his wife or his daughter. But no matter who it is, I have to stop you and not let you go near that place. And I can't tell you where he is." Sima Yue was shocked. Her father didn't allow anyone to tell him where he was. That showed how dangerous that place was. Her heart ached when she thought of the life jade that was filled with scars. Her father didn't allow them to find him because he didn't want them to be in danger. But she couldn't let her father suffer anymore. Father. Her heart ached when she thought of her father. Seeing that Wu Man didn't intend to tell her where her father was, she stood up and walked to Wu Man. She stretched out her hand in front of her. TXT download address. Mobile reading, book review. For the convenience of your next reading, you can add a bookmark at the top to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Fanbone with thanks for your support. Chapter 1358. Wu Man saw the thing in her hand and stood up in shock, her eyes filled with tears. "I think you've recognized it. This is my father's life tablet." Sima Yue said, "My uncle said that I was already like this when I was in my teens. 40 years have passed since then and my father has been injured for 40 years. Moreover, it had become more and more serious recently. Now, it was about to completely shatter. Aunt Man, my father can't hold on any longer." Towards the end, her voice was choked with sobs as she looked at Wu Man helplessly. Wu Man heard her words and her body swayed. She muttered, "He said he would come out by himself. He said he would be fine. Aunt Man, just tell little sister. She came here to find her father, she won't back down if she doesn't find him." See you persuaded. Besides, didn't Lil sis contract me air? It's so powerful it'll definitely be fine. Wu Man was still at a loss. She couldn't make a choice between her previous promises and her worries. "Aunt Man, in the entire Ghost City, you shouldn't be the only one who knows my father's whereabouts, right? If you don't tell me, I will look for others. I won't give up." Sima Yu saw that she was still not telling her, so she kept the life jade and turned to leave. "Stop right there." Wu Man shouted at her sternly, "You can't go find someone else." Sima Yu turned around and looked at her. "What? Right now, the people outside don't even dare to talk about your father. If you meet her people, not only will you not be able to get any information, you will also be arrested." Sima Yue narrowed her eyes when she saw Wu Man's fearful expression. Wei Ming Dai. Wu Man sat back in her chair, one hand supporting herself on the tea table. She sighed and said, "Your temper is just like his, just as stubborn. He's as smart as he is. I'm my father's child. Of course I look like him." Sima Yue said, Auntie Man, I know that my father's name is a taboo in this city. Some people have even been arrested the moment they mention his name. Can you tell me what happened to my father here? Why was he trapped now? Where is he now? Wu Man closed her eyes. It was as if she could still see the last time they met. He smiled confidently at her and said that he would definitely leave that place. The people in the room didn't speak. After a long time, Wu Man's voice slowly sounded. It was filled with exhaustion and heartache. When your father came here, it just so happened that something happened in the forbidden area. For some reason, the city lord had brought him along. That was the first time I saw him. Wu Man muttered as if she was recalling and narrating. He recognized Mi Er's identity the moment he came. At that time, the seal enchantment was about to be broken by it, and for some reason the city lord couldn't use spiritual power. He was the one who thought of a way to suppress it for 2 days, allowing the city lord to recover his strength and seal it again. Because of this, Wei Mingdai treated Sima Lu Xian as a VIP and invited him to stay in the city. Sima Lu Xian refused at first. At that time he was so anxious to go to the ghost realm that he didn't have the mood to stay here. Thus, after staying for 2 days he bid farewell to Wei Mingdai. At that time Wei Mingdai had already fallen in love with him, or rather she was deeply infatuated with him. Knowing that he was going to the ghost realm to find his wife, she said that this was a serious matter and couldn't be delayed, but in her heart she didn't intend to let him go. She said that it would be her 1000th birthday in a few days. She hoped that he could stay and leave after the birthday banquet. At the same time she promised him that she would find a few people from the ghost realm to understand the situation in the ghost realm. Sima Lu Xian didn't want to refute her. Secondly, he thought that if he could understand some information before going to the ghost realm, it might be helpful, so he agreed. In the next few days Wei Mingdai did find some people from the ghost clan. Sima Lu Xian found them to understand some information about the ghost realm. Some of it was similar to what Yu Kaluo told him, so he believed them. After a few days, Wei Mingdai's 1000th birthday arrived. The entire city celebrated her birthday. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that the whole world was celebrating. As for Sima Lu Xian, as a light attribute human, he received unprecedented courtesy at the banquet, which caused some people to be dissatisfied. So some people came to provoke him, saying that they wanted to see if the light attribute spirit master was stronger or if the dark spirit masters were stronger. Although those people were dissatisfied and wanted to kill Sima Lu Xian, he didn't take it to heart. Just as he was about to fight, Wei Mingdai killed all of them. The banquet fell into a dead silence. No one knew why Wei Mingdai suddenly became so angry. But Wu Man, who was also a woman, knew why. But she sat in her seat and didn't move. City Lord, those people just wanted to compare notes with Brother Lu Xian. Why did you? Wei Mingdai looked at the people who spoke. With just a glare of anger, those people couldn't bear the pressure and knelt down. Lu Xian is the benefactor of Ghost City. How can I let you provoke him? She said faintly. Provoking him is provoking me. Why do I need your permission to kill 2 people? We don't dare. The people on the ground quickly expressed their stance. Even though they hated Sima Lu Xian to death, they didn't dare to say anything. Then get out of here. Those who could come to the city lord's manor didn't have a low status in Ghost City. She had already killed 2 people. In order to appease the people, even if she was the city lord, she couldn't casually continue to kill people. Those people left the city lord's manor unwillingly. The others looked at Sima Lu Xian with a different gaze and whispered below. Sima Lu Xian heard those voices. They were all saying that he was already the city lord's man. His brows furrowed. After thinking about it, he stood up and said to Wei Mingdai, City Lord, I have stayed in Ghost City for a long time. I said that I would leave after the City Lord's birthday banquet. So, I would like to bid farewell to the City Lord. I will leave early tomorrow morning. Wei Mingdai's flirtatious face darkened. Lu Xian, why are you in such a hurry? Today I have something to announce to the people of the city. After saying that, she clapped her hands. 2 maids walked up with a box each. I once obtained an ice crystal condensed from the essence of the Eye of Earth. I heard that this is very helpful for you humans to cultivate. Wei Mingdai looked at Sima Lu Xian. Today I will use this in Ghost City as my dowry. Lu Xian, are you willing to marry me? Everyone sucked in a breath. The wine cup in Wu Man's hand almost slipped onto the table. The 2 maids opened the box. The box on the left had a crystal clear thing in it. The one on the right had the city lord's jade seal. They looked at the things in the box. Was Wei Mingdai proposing in public? Chapter 1359. When Sima Yue heard Wu Man's words, her face turned as dark as her father's. That old bastard. You're already so old, yet you still dare to covet my father? Ck, you better not fall into my hands, or I'll let you know why the flowers are so red. She cursed in her heart. What happened next? Siyu, who was standing at the side, widened her eyes. She never knew that the old witch actually proposed in front of everyone. What was she doing 50 years ago? It seemed that he started his retreat 2 days before the city lord's birthday banquet. When she came out and asked about Sima Luxian again, she was warned not to mention this name again. She really didn't expect that something like this would happen at the birthday party she missed. After that, Sima Luxian's face darkened after Wu Man said these words. He had just said that he would leave tomorrow, but she actually said this in public. Was she trying to force him to stay? Unfortunately, he was never one to be forced by others. That day when he saw his wife being taken away, he already hated himself to no end. Now how could he accept another woman? City Lord, I've already told you that I have a wife and daughter. This thing is too heavy for me to bear. There was an uproar in the auditorium and everyone looked at Sima Luxian as if he was an idiot. Wei Mingdai was the most beautiful person in the Ghost City. She was also very strong and was the city lord of the Ghost City. Being able to marry her was the dream of many men. Moreover, she even took out the city lord's imperial jade seal. As long as he accepted it, he would be the city lord of Ghost City. However, he actually rejected it without even thinking about it. Rejecting beauty and power made those who had never been able to obtain them gnash their teeth in hatred. Wei Mingdai's expression didn't look too good when she saw him reject her so straightforwardly. But who asked her to like him? Luxian, I know that you're not mentally prepared for me to suddenly say this. However, this is also my kind intentions. Don't reject it directly. Think about it first. There's no need to think about it. I don't have any plans to stay. City Lord should take back your good intentions. Sima Luxian said firmly. Luxian. Wei Mingdai was a little angry that he kept rejecting her. City Lord, I just said that I will leave early tomorrow morning. Sima Luxian said. No, I don't agree. Wei Mingdai was furious. It's my freedom to leave or not. I don't think I need the city lord's consent, right? Sima Luxian said coldly. If this is Ghost City, my place. Do you think that by going against my wishes, you can still come and go freely? Wei Mingdai said, Men, take Luxian away to rest. 2 guards immediately stepped forward. Young Master Sima, please. Sima Luxian looked at the situation. Were they planning to lock him up? A cold smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Before he could speak, Wu Man, who was sitting below the main seat, stood up and said, City Lord, today is your birthday. Don't be angry because of these things. Perhaps young Master Sima was unable to digest the news because it was too sudden. If this affects our relationship, then the loss outweighs the gain. Because of her interruption, Sima Luxian couldn't finish his sentence. Wei Mingdai also knew that Wu Man's words were reasonable. Her original intention was to keep Sima Luxian, not to fall out with him. She rubbed her eyebrows and waved to the others, saying, I'm tired. Let's disperse for today. The others looked at each other. The city lord was suppressing her anger now. No one dared to provoke her. Soon everyone dispersed. Wu Man and Meng Sha also left. Only Wei Mingdai and Sima Luxian were left. No one knew what happened after that. They only knew that the next morning, the city lord's residence sent people to look for Sima Luxian. In the end, at the city gate, Sima Luxian fought with the city lord's residence. One person defeated 10 people of the same level. But Wei Mingdai came and chased him out of the city. She chased him in the direction of Sunset Mountain. After that, he trapped himself in Sunset Mountain. Wei Mingdai kept guard outside Sunset Mountain. Wu Man also took the opportunity to find Wei Mingdai and secretly saw Sima Luxian, who was trapped in the mountain. But because Wei Mingdai was suspicious, they only saw each other for a short while and then separated. So, my father is now trapped in Sunset Mountain. Sima Yue listened to Wu Man and felt sorry for her father. Yes. So he is really there. You know about Sunset Mountain? This time Wu Man was surprised. Not many people knew about Sunset Mountain. Even many people in Ghost City didn't know about it. I know. Sima Yue nodded. Didn't Mu Lianjie go to Sunset Mountain? Thinking of him, she hesitated and asked, Ant-Man, do you know who went to Sunset Mountain 7 years ago? 7 years ago. You mean Mu Lianjie? Wu Man asked. Yes. He really went to Sunset Mountain? Yes. But he was found out by the city lord. In the end. Sima Yue's heart sank. He is really? What should Mu Si do? So you know about Sunset Mountain from here? Wu Man said, I am sure that Mu Lianjie is dead. I saw the city lord kill him with my own eyes. As for Mu Si, you better not let the city lord know about his existence. I know. Sima Yue nodded. The city lord must be furious that Mu Lianjie went to save her father. If she knew about Mu Si's existence, she might vent her anger on him. Alright, I have told you everything you want to know. Ant-Man, what kind of existence is Sunset Mountain? Why is father trapped in there for so long? Why don't other people know about it? Where exactly is it? Wu Man stared at her. Seeing her stubbornly staring at her, she sighed and continued to explain, Sunset Mountain is the oldest mine. Because the situation inside is too complicated, no one dares to go there. Your father made use of the complicated situation to separate himself from the city lord. At the same time he trapped himself in there. How powerful is the situation there? Is it more powerful than Mi-Air? So you asked. Wu Man thought of the explosive power when Mi-Air rushed out. Maybe they are on par. But that is still in the mine. The situation is more complicated. That's true. Siyu nodded. We'll have to let them compete to know who's more powerful. Sima Yu said, is that mine related to the safety of the entire ghost city? How do you know? When I saw Wei Ming Dai fight that day, I realized that she is very powerful. If it is just a simple situation, I think it is impossible for her to not solve it after so many years. It must be that the situation there is very important, so she doesn't dare to touch it. Right? Chapter 1360. Wu Man looked at Sima Yue. She did not expect her to be so smart. That is indeed the case. She opened her red fan and gently fanned herself. She had already emerged from her memories and returned to her usual self. The ghost city is a city that floats in the air. When it was first built, those people discovered that the ground was floating in the air. There was something dragging it from below, so they followed that force to search for it. Finally, they found the direction of Sunset Mountain. I didn't expect father to go to Sunset Mountain by accident. Although it's dangerous, there's still hope. Sima Yue said, Ant-Man, can you tell me how to get to Sunset Mountain? You want to go to Sunset Mountain? Yes. Do you know how dangerous Sunset Mountain is? Although I haven't seen it, I can imagine it. However, I also understand that if I don't go, father might. So, no matter how dangerous it is, I must go. Wu Man sighed and lamented in her heart that both father and daughter were stubborn people. After a long time she said, since I can't stop you, I'll tell you. Since the city lord is in the city, you won't bump into her if you go there. Sima Yue was delighted. She stood up and bowed to Wu Man, saying gratefully, thank you, Ant-Man. Don't thank me. If you can really save your father, then quickly leave this place and return to your original world. Don't ever come back. Wu Man warned. I understand. Sima Yue nodded solemnly. The reason why his father was able to resist for so long was because of Sunset Mountain. If they left that place, they would have to face Wei Ming Dai's pursuit. They didn't have the strength to resist. Then Wu Man told her how to get to Sunset Mountain. In order to protect Sunset Mountain's safety, an illusion array was set up outside. One had to pass through the illusion array before they could approach. Thank you, Ant-Man. Sima Yue bowed to Wu Man again. Have a good rest, we won't disturb you anymore. Now that she knew where her father was, she couldn't wait to save him. Although I told you the location, Sunset Mountain is so big, I don't know where he is now. When you go there, you must be quick because the city lord will be there soon. I'll try my best to stall her, but I don't know how long I can stall her. Ant-Man, that old demonic woman is so scary. If she knows that you are delaying her on purpose, will she punish you too? Si Kong asked worriedly. Wu Man chuckled, would I be so obvious? What do you plan to do? Sima Yue asked. If Wu Man's life was sacrificed in order to save her father, both father and daughter would be unhappy. Wu Man didn't want to say anything at first, but when she saw Sima Yue's gaze, her smile deepened. Naturally, it's something that gives her a headache. Alright, there's no harm in telling you. Wouldn't this deepen the conflict between him and Zhang Hao? Since that was the case, he might as well go all out. If the two stewards get into a fight, she won't really ignore it. Wu Man said, you don't have to feel guilty or anything. The conflict between Zhang Hao and I is already very deep. If we don't explode now, it will be the same sooner or later. It's just been brought forward. Sima Yue knew that Wu Man said that so that she wouldn't feel guilty, but she would still remember this favor in her heart. This Wu Man was really affectionate towards her father. It was a pity that her father had a mother, so she naturally couldn't repay him. She was afraid that she would owe this favor forever. She bowed deeply to Wu Man, showing her gratitude in her words. Wu Man was a smart woman. When she saw her like this, she understood something and her gaze became even dimmer. When Siyu saw that Ant-Man who loved her so much was so unhappy, she couldn't help but sigh. Seems like it's really tough to like someone you shouldn't like. What about him? Would he be the right person for her to meet? Just at this moment, the servant girl from before walked in and said, "Mistress, young Master Zhe is here. He said he's looking for Miss Yu and Miss Yue." "Looking for us? What's the matter?" Siyu stood up and asked. "He didn't say, but he looks a little anxious." The servant girl said, "We just came out for a while and Big Brother is already here. Did something happen?" Siyu said as she walked out. Sima Yue and Wu Man also went out. Zhe was waiting anxiously outside the courtyard. When he saw them come out, he heaved a sigh of relief. "Big Brother, why are you here? Did something happen?" Siyu went forward and asked. "I just received news that the Zhang clan sent people over to capture you. So I came over to see you." Zhe was relieved. As long as they were fine, everything was fine. "The Zhang clan dares to come here? They're really looking for death." Siyu didn't care about the Zhang clan and Li clan in the past because she never asked about these things. But recently, because of Sima Yue, she found out a little. Seeing that the Zhang clan actually dared to bully them, she was so angry that she stomped her feet. "The Zhang clan is here again? They haven't given up yet," Sima Yue said. "Again? Little sister, you know about this?" When I went to look for Shameless 3, I was followed by 2 half-step Paragon rankers. After that, I killed the 2 of them. I didn't think that they would actually send people over again," Sima Yue said. "Zhang Hao actually dared to stretch his hand over to my place. Looks like he really wants to shed all pretense of cordiality." Wu Man laughed coldly. She was still worried that she couldn't find a chance to shed all pretense of cordiality. This Zhang Hao sent himself to her doorstep. "Alright, I'll send you all back. At the same time, I have something to discuss with your father," she said to everyone. Sima Yue and Siyu could roughly guess what it was. It was probably about dealing with the Zhang clan. Although Yue really wanted to go over immediately, out of courtesy, she still had to go back and inform them. Also, Third Mo and the rest were still in the C residence. She couldn't just leave them behind. The group of people returned to the C residence. Wu Man went to look for Si Kong. Sima Yue prepared to call Third Mo and the rest. After informing Si Kong, they would immediately head to Sunset Mountain. When she returned to the courtyard, Third Mo was already awake. This bit of alcohol was nothing to him. With her sobering pills, he didn't feel any hangover when he woke up. Sima Yue saw Mu Si and her heart ached. How was she going to tell him that the father he had been waiting for so long had actually died a few years ago? Mu Si saw that Sima Yue had returned and a glimmer of brilliance flashed past his cold eyes. He said, "You're back? Did you get the information?" Sima Yue walked over and looked at the young man who was taller than her by a head. She said, "Mu Si, if your father isn't around anymore, do you want to stay here or leave with me?" Mu Si's body trembled as he looked at Sima Yue in disbelief. "My father, he's already..." Seeing Sima Yue nod her head, his stubborn eyes instantly teared up. "That man is very sure." She said that she saw it with her own eyes. Sima Yue knew that this was very cruel, but she had to tell him the truth. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.